Chapter 88 Purple Scale Murderfish. Lava melting the lake. Half an hour later. Zhou stood on a stone cliff and looked at the Purple Scale Lake, the territory of the Purple Scale Murderfish leader not far away while he recalled its origin. The Purple Scale Lake was not a natural lake in Fish Spring Town. It was an artificial lake. It was said that back then, after Zhongbern used his Black Iron Tier Lord talent, Fishwater Lake, to make Fish Spring Town rich, some subjects felt that the reason why the fish produced in Fishwater Lake were fat and huge was because the water from the lake was special. Therefore, some people had thoughts of buying lake water from Zhongbern to build an artificial lake and develop a fish farm. At that time, Zhongbern was in high spirits because of the Fishwater Lake. When he heard this request, he knew that his subjects wanted to get rich and agreed without much hesitation. He even took the initiative to help the other party build an artificial lake. Therefore, 2 artificial lakes were built in less than a month. Just as people were looking forward to the benefits these 2 artificial lakes could bring to Fish Spring Town, they were modified by the Scarlet Fog and became the territory of the Scarlet Lord overnight. One of them became the Scarlet Territory of the Purple Scale Murderfish leader in front of him, Boxinoviel. The other was the territory of the only Lord Tier Scarlet Lord in Fish Spring Town, the Water Demon Scarlet Lord. At the beginning, these 2 Scarlet Lords' territories were still relatively weak. However, they could only watch as they became stronger because it was very difficult for Zhongbern and the others to hurt them when they were under the lake. Then it became something that could not be dealt with now. From then on, there were no more subjects in Fish Spring Town who dared to say that they could make a fortune by building an artificial lake. The monsters under the lake are indeed difficult to deal with. Even my soldiers will find it difficult to completely eliminate the Purple Scale Murderfish under the lake without underwater combat methods. Still, I have Nazario. Zhou looked at Nazario in the sky and conveyed his orders to it. Nazario roared and rushed towards the extremely calm Purple Scale Lake. Nazario suddenly stopped when it was about 50 to 60 meters away from the Purple Scale Lake. It looked coldly at the Purple Scale Lake and flapped its dragon wings, flying above the lake. The wind formed by the flapping of the dragon wings blew on the surface of the lake, causing a large number of ripples. Purple Scale Murderfish with scarlet fish eyes emerged from the bottom of the lake one after another, trembling as they looked at Nazario. At this moment, Nazario had yet to release its dragon might. However, its size and the bloodline aura it naturally emitted alone were enough to make these Purple Scale Murderfish extremely afraid. Zhou took advantage of this moment. He chose the weakest-looking Purple Scale Murderfish and checked its monster information. Monster name: Purple Scale Murderfish. Strength level: Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Monster description: the monster of the Purple Scale Lake was born in the Scarlet Fog. It was originally an ordinary Purple Scale Lake, but under the modification of the Scarlet Fog, it became a ferocious underwater monster that devoured people. Loots: 2 units of Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. Drop rate: 100%. 1 unit to 20 units of delicious meat from Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Purple Scale Murderfish. Drop rate: 20% to 1%. 1 gradeless skill book. Swimming Mastery. 1 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade skill book. Water Spear Technique. Drop rate: 1%. After seeing its loot drop, Zhou looked at the drop rates of the other levels of the Purple Scale Murderfish. He realized that the loots of the other higher-level Purple Scale Murderfish had not changed much. However, the drops of delicious fish meat and the skill level of the Water Spear Technique had also increased. When Zhou saw this, he no longer had the thought of protecting it. This was the first time he had seen the flesh of a monster with the prefix delicious, which meant that even the Supreme will approved of the deliciousness of this fish. However, he could only build one other monster ranch now. This monster ranch definitely had to place a very valuable monster in it. In addition, the Fish Spring Town also sold fish similar to it. The taste should not be inferior to it. Therefore, Zhou was no longer interested in it. On the other side, Nazario looked at the Purple Scale Murderfish below. It suddenly opened its mouth. A red light brewed in its throat. The next second, the hot and scarlet magma dragon breath spewed out of its mouth and shot into the Purple Scale Lake. Hiss 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 hiss. A large amount of steam instantly evaporated from the originally dead lake's surface by the hot magma dragon breath. At the same time, Kill notifications quickly appeared in front of Jojo. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed a black iron tier elementary grade purple scale murderfish. Promotion energy +2. Loots condensed. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed a black iron tier advanced grade elite purple scale murderfish. Promotion energy +8. Loots condensed. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed the green bronze tier elementary grade purple scale murderfish leader. Promotion energy +20. Loots condensed. In the blink of an eye, the information of dozens of purple scale murderfishes being killed appeared in front of Jojo. Nazario's magma dragon breath had yet to stop. It seemed to have endless magma dragon breath and had no intention of stopping at all. It continuously burned the purple scale lake that the residents of Fish Spring Town regarded as a taboo. As time passed, the number of purple scale murderfishes in the lake began to decrease at an astonishing speed. Moreover, even the depth of the lake began to decrease at a speed visible to the naked eye. Bubbles were even popping up on the surface of the purple scale lake. It was obvious how hot the lake water was. The purple scale murderfishes were steamed to death by the scorching lake water before they were even injured by the magma dragon breath. A delicious fish fragrance came from the purple scale lake and quickly reached Jojo and the others. It smells so good. I'm craving it. How is this killing fog monsters? This is clearly cooking fish in a big pot. His lordship's pet is too powerful. The soldiers could not help but whisper. This was the first time they had seen such a spectacular and unbelievable scene. They had long known that their lord's pet was very strong, but at this moment, they were also shocked by the destructive power of the lava dragon. Jojo also felt a little emotional. Pure-blooded dragons were indeed unbelievably strong. If Nazario could do this now, it might not be impossible to burn mountains and boil seas in the future, when it reaches maturity. This is only a young pure-blooded dragon. There might be dragon lords in the high continent. If it can also summon pure-blooded dragons as its subjects through the gate of summoning like us, Jojo thought about it. He immediately felt a chill run down his spine. A life form that was born to stand at the peak of all races was indeed ridiculously strong. Jojo became even more cautious at the thought that such a terrifying life form might be his opponent in the future. I might be doing well among the Cerulean planet lords. There are even some lords who say that I'm the top lord of the Cerulean planet's human race. But I'm afraid I'm still very weak in front of the lord of a truly powerful race. I still need to become stronger. Jojo thought to himself. Chapter 89 Yellow Gold Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragment. Jojo looked silently at the scene of Nazario wreaking havoc in the purple scale lake in the distance. Originally, he was still a little worried about the Novice Lord test after 7 days of development. He still felt a little proud when he compared himself to the development progress of the other Cerulean planet lords. But at this moment the arrogance in his heart disappeared. He did not have the right to be arrogant in front of the truly powerful lords of all races. At least not yet. If a dragon lord appeared in front of him now, it probably only needed to send 4 to 5 pure-blooded dragons, and it could crush all the development results he had been proud of for the past 7 days. Half a minute later, just as Nazario had burned 400 to 500 purple scale murderfishes to death, the purple scale murderfish lord, which had been hiding under the lake and unwilling to come out to face Nazario, finally could not take it anymore. If it continued to hide, its freshwater lake was probably going to become a magma lake. Boom! Boxin-OVL. COM A purple scale murderfish that was more than 10 meters long suddenly emerged from the water. It was the purple scale murderfish lord Z-Pow. It suddenly opened its mouth the moment it flew out of the lake. Then, a water gun as thick as a water tank shot out from its mouth, attacking Nazario. Nazario only glanced at the water spear indifferently after noticing its movements. Elementary fire, elemental control. Whoosh! A blazing flame barrier appeared out of thin air. After the water spear hit the flame barrier, it only caused a ripple on the barrier before silently evaporating into water vapor and dissipating into the air. Then its dragon head turned slightly, and the magma dragon breath it spat out immediately went straight for the Scarlet Lord. When the purple scale murderfish lord saw this scene, it was so frightened that it wanted to escape. It suddenly dived into the water and swam as deep into the lake as possible. Soon it reached the bottom of the lake. It plunged deep into the soil at the bottom of the lake, wanting to burrow under the soil. The next second, the scorching magma dragon breath directly burned an underwater passageway of 40 to 50 meters in the lake and enveloped it. The purple scale murderfish lord, Zipao, died on the spot enveloped by the scorching magma dragon breath. An even more alluring fish fragrance came from its body, making everyone on the shore gulp. At the same time, a kill notification also appeared in front of Zhou. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed the white silver tier intermediate grade purple scale murderfish lord Zipao, Scarlet Lord. Promotion energy plus 400. Loots condensed. The territory of the Scarlet Lord has become ownerless. You can plunder or occupy it. After a while, Nazario stopped spitting out magma dragon breath in satisfaction after confirming that all the purple scale murderfishes had been destroyed. There was no longer any drop of lake water. They were all evaporated into water vapor by the magma dragon breath. There were only 1,900 charred purple scale murderfish corpses left. They lay at the bottom of the lake while emitting the fragrance of roasted fish. Nazario used elementary fire elemental control again, drawing away all the heat where it spat out magma dragon breath to make it easier for the soldiers to take the corpses of the purple scale murderfish. After that, the soldiers jumped into the bottom of the lake one after another and transported the corpses of the purple scale murderfishes up. Then they retrieved the loot from the three conquerors' blast furnace. Half an hour later, all 1,900 purple scale murderfishes had been extracted. This included 1,287 black iron tier purple scale murderfishes and elite purple scale murderfishes, 612 green bronze tier purple scale murderfish leaders, 1 white silver tier elementary grade purple scale murderfish leader, not the Scarlet Lord. In total, 4,690 black iron tier mist cores, 1,924 green bronze tier mist cores, 2 white silver tier mist cores, 51,140 units of black iron tier delicious fish meat, 20,740 units of green bronze tier delicious fish meat, 2,000 units of white silver tier delicious fish meat, 1,900 gradeless skill books, swimming mastery, 1,900 skill books, water spear technique, black iron tier, green bronze tier and 1 white silver tier elementary grade. Zhou took out one of the gradeless swimming mastery and the green bronze tier intermediate grade water spear technique. Skill name, swimming mastery. Skill quality, gradeless. Skill description. After learning it, you can swim freely in the water like a fish. At the same time, your lung capacity will increase greatly. You can dive to a depth of 300 meters and can hold your breath underwater for a minimum of 1 hour. Skill name, water spear technique. Skill quality, green bronze tier intermediate grade. Skill description. Concentrate and guide the condensation of water elemental energy in your mouth to form a water spear with green bronze tier intermediate grade destructive power and penetrative power to attack the enemy. After Zhou read the skill description, he learned it without hesitation. When he was on the Cerulean planet, he was a landlubber. After learning swimming mastery, he would not be afraid of falling into the water in the future. He could also master the basic skill of swimming. As for his ability to dive deep and hold his breath, he could easily break the world record if he brought it to the Cerulean planet. The water spear technique was a very simple and pure offensive skill. There was nothing to say. While he did not need to fight personally as a lord, there was no harm in learning it as a backup. Then Zhou looked at the corpse of the purple scale murderfish lord Zipao. Information about the corpse appeared. Item name, corpse of the purple scale murderfish lord Zipao, Scarlet Lord. Item level, white silver tier intermediate grade. Item effect, contains unextracted loots. Item description, Scarlet Lord killed by the pet of the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Prompt, in 2 hours this corpse will turn into fog and be reborn at a certain time in the future. Loots, 10 units of white silver tier mist cores, drop rate, 100%, 200 units to 2,000 units of white silver tier intermediate grade purple scale murderfish lord's delicious flesh, drop rate, 20% to 0.5%, 1 white silver tier intermediate grade skill book, water spear book, drop rate 5%. 1 yellow gold tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere, drop rate 0%. 3 yellow gold tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, drop rate 0%. Zhou eyes lit up. He was immediately a little excited. Yellow gold tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. This guy actually had a yellow gold tier Scarlet Lord Talent. Moreover, there were 3 yellow gold tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments. He had always thought that it was only going to be a black iron tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragment. It actually turned out that the Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere and the Lord Talent Crystal Fragment could exist at the same time. He immediately placed his hand on the other party's corpse and extracted the other party's loot. Soon, a large number of loots dropped, but Zhou's eyes were only fixated at the ball of light that emitted a golden halo with a wisp of blood inside. Treasure name: Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere Unknown. Treasure grade: Yellow Gold Tier. Treasure effect: the Lord can absorb it and obtain an unknown yellow gold tier Lord Talent after being purified by the Supreme Will. Treasure description: a loot that could not be dropped. It was forced to drop under the drive of some mysterious power. Do you want to purify it? Zhou naturally chose not to purify it on the spot. They were outside after all. It might not be safe. It would not be too late to purify it when he returned to the territory. He resisted the urge to immediately purify it and put it into his spatial ring. Then, he looked at the yellow gold tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments that he was seeing for the first time. Treasure name: Lord Talent Crystal Fragment, grade: Yellow Gold Tier. Treasure ability 1. Gather 10 gold tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments and infuse them into a complete gold tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. It can awaken an unknown gold tier Lord Talent. Treasure ability 2. Gather 10 yellow gold tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystals and infuse them into a complete white platinum tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. It can allow a Lord with a yellow gold tier Lord Talent to upgrade his Lord Talent to a white platinum tier Lord Talent. The subsequent fusion effects and so on. Introduction: a treasure that lords can only dream of. Zhou was extremely excited. It's not a loss. It doesn't matter even if the invasion of the last Scarlet Lord fails in the end. With this yellow gold tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere and these 3 yellow gold tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, I didn't come for nothing today, he thought excitedly. Chapter 90 by Ease Breakthrough. Vampire's Corpse. My lord, we just found the territory stone tablet here. We also found their storage resources here. There are a total of 20,000 units of stone, 10,000 units of wood, and 10,000 units of metal. Other than that, we found 30,000 units of fine sand not far from the shore of the Purple Scale Lake. In addition, 584 black iron tier mist cores, 56 green bronze tier mist cores, and 2 white silver tier mist cores were discovered. At this moment, Bai quickly walked over and said respectfully, "Bring me to the territory tablet." Zhou nodded. "Yes, my lord." Then Bai jumped down from the Purple Scale Lake with Zhou and arrived at the bottom of the lake. After walking 100 to 200 meters at the bottom of the lake, Zhou saw a lord's courtyard buried in sand. He walked into the lord's courtyard. Boxinoviel. A territory stone tablet wrapped in water plants stood here. "Break it," Zhou ordered. "Yes." Bai nodded. Then, she drew her bow and fired 10 fire vine arrows at the territory tablet, shattering it to reveal a green bronze tier intermediate grade territory token. Zhou went forward and obtained the territory token. "I can upgrade my territory when I return home later." A smile appeared on Zhou's face. Then, he prepared to rest for half an hour before setting off. At this moment, he realized that the soldiers were discussing the fragrance of the purple scale murderfish that they had just smelled. They were almost salivating. Zhou's heart skipped a beat. They had to rest anyway. Moreover, they had to face the most difficult water demon Scarlet Lord, and see next. Since that was the case, it would not be too late to fight after the soldiers were full and energetic. Thinking of this, he immediately took out 10,000 units of black iron tier delicious fish and 5,000 units of green bronze tier delicious fish. Then he called Zhang Song over and asked him to bring a group of soldiers to distribute the fish meat to the soldiers. Let the soldiers eat and drink. They would fight after eating and resting. As for the kitchenware, there was no need to worry. He brought more than 6,400 soldiers out to fight. No matter how sloppy Zhou was, he would not forget the importance of these supplies. Therefore, he asked the soldiers to bring the kitchen utensils and the like. He even brought Qin Guang and his wife, the first pair of chefs in the territory, along. Zhang Tsong and the others' eyes immediately lit up. They were already deeply attracted by the fragrance of the fish meat when they saw Nazario destroy the purple scale murderfish. They had thought that they would only be able to eat this delicious fish after the battles. They did not expect their lord to be so understanding to allow them to satisfy their cravings immediately. "Thank you, my lord," Zhang Tsong said excitedly. "Take these fish and distribute them quickly. Don't forget to guard the surroundings while you eat. This is not our territory now." Zhou smiled. "Yes, my lord," Zhang Tsong said respectfully. Then he went to get someone to move the fish. A moment later, "The fish soup is here." Qin Guang, who was already a Black Iron Tier advanced grade chef, excitedly carried a large pot of purple scale fish soup to Zhou excitedly. "It smells so good." Zhou only smelled it and his eyes lit up. This large pot of fish soup was made from the white silver tier intermediate grade delicious fish meat of the purple scale murderfish leader. It had to be said. Zhou had yet to taste it, but he was already tempted just by the smell. Even the energy in his body was stirring. He was about to scoop a bowl of fish soup and taste it when he saw Bai Yi standing respectfully at the side. "Bai Yi, why are you still standing there? Sit down and eat with us." He quickly called out to the other party. "My lord, this isn't good. I'll just eat with the soldiers later." Bai Yi hesitated. "Why are you being so polite?" Zhou pulled her down and drank fish soup and ate fish meat together. Then their eyes lit up at the same time. Not only was this white silver tier intermediate grade leader tier fish delicious and melted in their mouths, the energy contained in the fish meat that belonged to the white silver tier intermediate grade also benefited the two of them. At this moment, both of them were at green bronze tier intermediate grade. After eating the fish soup and fish meat, they felt that the advancement energy in their bodies had clearly increased. Bai Yi barely maintained her reservedness, even though the speed at which she ate was clearly faster. Zhou could no longer care about his image as a lord. He wolfed down the soup and ate the meat. He was a complete example of what it meant to wolf down one's food. Soon, the fish soup and meat in the large pot decreased at a visible speed. Qin Guang chuckled as he watched this scene. Then he turned around and went back to work. After a while, he brought over 2 pots of fish soup and 50 skewers of roasted fish. They were all made from the delicious meat of the white silver tier intermediate grade purple scale murderfish leader. The two of them ate with joy. Half an hour later, after eating the 5th pot of fish soup, Zhou touched his swollen stomach and smiled. He looked around. At this moment, the soldiers were eating the flesh of the purple scale murderfish in full swing. Everyone's faces were filled with satisfaction. Not far away was the place where the purple scale murderfish was destroyed. Zhou suddenly thought of a poem. It was very similar to the scene in front of him. Hungry for hulu meat, laughing and drinking Xiongnu blood. This might be the pride and romance of the battlefield. Zhou smiled. He turned to look at Bai Yi. He was stunned. Bai Yi's eyes were closed and her face was ruddy. The flame mark on her face emitted a faint blood light, and her body emitted unstable energy fluctuations. What happened? Zhou immediately grabbed her hand, only to realize that her hand was extremely hot. The next second, "My lord, it's coming," Bai Yi whispered. "Zhou?" The next second, Bai Yi's body suddenly tensed up. A few seconds later, she suddenly relaxed and a comfortable expression appeared on her face. Zhou admitted that he very nearly could not hold it in anymore looking at this scene, coupled with her elven bloodline face and figure. "My lord, I've broken through to the green bronze tier advanced grade," Bai Yi said happily after opening her eyes. Zhou coughed twice and was so embarrassed that he did not dare to look into her eyes. Bai Yi blinked. "What is wrong with my lord?" "My lord." X2 at this moment, the Catgirl sisters from before quickly ran over wearing the standard sword shield soldier equipment. When they saw Zhou and Bai Yi leaning against each other intimately, they were stunned and immediately became flustered. Zhou and Bai Yi immediately separated. "Ahem, what happened?" Zhou expression returned to normal. My lord. Just now, when we were patrolling the vicinity with 5 elven elemental archer sisters, we discovered 2 sneaky human vampires. After the 2 of them saw us, they turned into a group of bats and wanted to escape, but we shot them all down. The younger cat girl said excitedly. My lord, don't listen to my sister's nonsense. Actually, it's mainly because of the 5 elven elemental archer sisters. We did want to stop them, but we couldn't do anything as soon as the 2 vampires turned into bats. The older cat girl knocked her younger sister's head and said in embarrassment, It's fine. What happened to the 2 vampires now? Zhou asked. These 2 vampires should be the subjects of the other 2 overlords in Fish Spring Town. He did not go and suppress them because they still had the novice lord's protection barrier. He did not expect the other party to come knocking on his door, but it made sense thinking about it. As the overlords of Fish Spring Town, if they had yet to react after he dealt with 2 Scarlet Lords' territories in a row, then they were really unqualified as lords. After they turned into bats and were shot down, they directly turned back to their original form and died. We've brought the corpses over, the older cat girl said respectfully. Then the 2 of them turned around and left and each pulled a corpse to Zhou a short while later. Zhou looked over curiously. The corpses of these 2 vampire humans were not much different from ordinary humans. They were wearing medieval noble clothes and were handsome and pale. Their fingernails were slightly longer. Zhou could feel the coldness coming from their bodies, even though there was a distance between them. Item name: Vampire Corpses, Low-Level Vampire. Item level: Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Item Effect. Contains unextracted loots. Item description: A subject of the Blood Sun Lord that was embraced by him, killed by the soldiers of Blazing Sun City. Prompt: In 2 hours this corpse will turn into fog and be reborn at a certain time in the future. Loots: 8 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, drop rate 100%. 1 Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Low-Level Blood Clan Bloodline, drop rate 10%. 1 Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Racial Skill Book, Bloodbat Form, drop rate 0.1%. 1 Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Racial Talent Sphere, drop rate 0.001%. Chapter 91 Bloodbat Form. Obtained Vampire Race Talent. Zhou raised his eyebrows. He finally saw things like racial skills and racial talent sphere again. And there was a low-level blood clan bloodline? This was the first time he had seen this. Then he looked at the corpse of another vampire. He realized that the loots of both were the same. He half-squatted down and placed his hand on the vampire corpse on the left. A golden notification appeared. Do you want to retrieve the loot? Yes. Zhou thought to himself. Boxin OVL. COM the next second. A text notification appeared. Lord Talent Hint. You have obtained loots: 8 Mist Cores Black Iron Tier, 1 Low-Level Blood Clan Bloodline Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade, 1 Racial Skill Book, Bloodbat Form, Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade, 1 Racial Talent Sphere, Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade. Whoosh. A large amount of loot dropped. Zhou put away the Mist Cores first. Then he looked at the other loot. First it was the low-level Blood Clan Bloodline. It looked like a beating blood-colored heart. When Zhou picked it up he realized that the heart was cold. A text notification appeared. Bloodline name: Low-Level Blood Clan Bloodline Bloodline Level, Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Bloodline Effect. After absorbing it, the user can obtain a Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Bloodline, Low-Level Blood Clan Bloodline. After fusing with this bloodline, the user will gradually awaken some low-level Blood Clan bloodline racial abilities during the period of their growth. Prompt 1: Fuse 100 units of Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Tier Vampire Bloodline, and you can obtain 1 White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Vampire Baron Bloodline. Prompt 2: The level suppression between 2 different vampire bloodlines is very serious. Please carefully choose whether to absorb this bloodline. Do you want to absorb it? Zhou frowned slightly at the end. There was actually a serious level suppression among vampires of different levels. However, seeing this notification, he suddenly dismissed this idea of absorbing it. Unless he had the highest level of vampire bloodline, otherwise, he would rather not absorb a bloodline with such a huge drawback. Moreover, There were so many extraordinary creatures in this world. Dragon bloodline, elven bloodline, angel bloodline, titan bloodline, god spirit bloodline. All of these lords of all races were gathered here. This meant that there were the most complete bloodlines of the various races on the high continent. He had a 100% drop rate. As long as he could continue growing safely, sooner or later, he would be able to obtain a top-notch bloodline for himself. Speaking of which, I've already fought many monsters of different races. Only Lord Potts, his subjects, and this vampire lord's subjects dropped items related to racial abilities. Don't fog monsters drop bloodlines? Is it because they're essentially made of scarlet fog? That's why there are no bloodline-related loots? Jojo pondered. He thought for a moment. He felt that his guess should be right. After that he stopped thinking and looked at the next loot. Race skill name. Bloodbat form. Skill quality. Yellow gold tier elementary grade skill description. After learning it, the user can master the bloodline skill of a low-level blood clan bloodline, the bloodbat form. After using the bloodbat form, the user can instantly turn his body into a certain number of bloodbats by consuming the blood in his body and using it to fly. Prompt. This racial skill is essentially a half-growth skill. The upper limit of growth is yellow gold tier elementary grade. Any level professional can learn it. Jojo immediately came to a realization. I knew it. How could two black iron tier advanced grade vampires use a yellow gold tier elementary grade racial skill? So it was a half-growth racial skill. It was a yellow gold tier elementary grade skill, but the two black iron tier advanced grade low-level vampires could only unleash the power that was befitting of this might. Then it was fine. Jojo chose to learn it immediately. After learning it, he carefully felt his change. Soon, he realized that he seemed to be able to control his flesh and bones to change. He looked at his right hand. With a thought bang, wisps of blood-colored fog seeped out of the skin of his right hand and condensed into a bloodbat in his palm. Jojo looked at it. He realized that he could completely control this bloodbat and even have its perspective. Whoosh! The bloodbat suddenly flapped its wings and flew into the sky. Jojo looked at it helplessly. At the same time, he looked at the purple scale lake below through its perspective. A feeling that was different from his daily perspective attacked his heart. Even though the bloodbat's vision was weaker, which meant that he could barely see things, he had a visual effect similar to the blood eye. He could acutely sense the blood-colored creatures in his field of vision. At the same time, it could also simulate the surrounding terrain in its mind through ultrasonic positioning. With these three observation abilities, it allowed the bloodbat to have an extremely strong grasp of its surroundings. This bloodbat can be used as a scout when it's not safe. Jojo immediately thought with excitement. The price of creating this bloodbat was only a portion of his blood. At the same time, he could feel that if he consumed about a fifth of the blood in his body, he could turn his entire body into 20 bloodbats and control each bloodbat to fly away. Among the 20 bloodbats, only the only bloodbat would fly away with his soul. This bloodbat would be the most important bloodbat. If he encountered an enemy so powerful that it was difficult to resist, he could escape through this bloodbat form. He could use this bloodbat to condense his body again to escape death, as long as this bloodbat with his soul was still alive and the others died. What a powerful life-saving skill. Jojo clicked his tongue. This was only the form of a low-level bloodbat. If it was a vampire baron in the form of a bloodbat or even a vampire with a higher-level bloodline, not only would their bloodbat form be stronger, but there would also be other derivative changes. He did not try to turn his entire body into bloodbat form. Even though consuming 1/5 of his blood was not dangerous for him, who was at the green bronze tier intermediate grade, it would also cause him to fall into a weak state. There would be an even more intense battle later. Jojo did not want his strength to weaken at this time. It would not be too late to practice the bloodbat form when it was completely safe for him to do so. Now, I can be considered to have mastered this vampire skill without the bloodline of a low-level blood clan bloodline. If I have a low-level blood clan bloodline, my bloodbat form should be even stronger. Jojo thought. Even so, he would not fuse a bloodline with such a huge drawback just because of a skill. Then he stopped thinking and looked at the racial talent sphere. Treasure name. Racial talent sphere. Blood pool. Treasure grade. Yellow gold tier elementary grade treasure effect. After using it, You can possess the racial talent of a low-level vampire, blood pool. You can store more blood in your body. Moreover, you can store more blood every time your strength increases. You will also obtain a certain level of increase in effect when using blood element-related skills. Treasure description: the racial talent of the vampire race. After using it, you will possess the racial talent of the race. Remarks: this talent's breakthrough will last until you break through to the white platinum tier advanced grade. Zhou raised his eyebrows. This racial talent was not bad. This way he could use the stored spare blood for the vampire skills when he used the bloodbat form in the future. As long as the frequency of use was not too high, and did not exceed his total reserve blood volume, there was no harm to him at all. After that, he extracted the other vampire's loot and placed it in his spatial ring. He thought for a moment and looked at Bai Yi. Bai Yi, arrange for 2 teams to secretly monitor the territory of the vampire lord and the Baphomet race lord here. It's best to find out everything about them, he said. After the novice lord test ended, the novice lord's protective barrier would disappear. The competition for the title of lord of all races would officially begin from then on. When the time comes, he would start with these 2 overlords first. Yes, my lord. Bai Yi did not ask further and went straight to make arrangements. Zhou watched her leave and his gaze returned to the 2 cat girls. What are your names? He asked. My name is Aaliyah, the older cat girl said respectfully. My name is Atli. The younger cat girl immediately said. How do you feel about being sword-shield soldiers? Zhou nodded and asked. Don't worry, my lord. We're already used to fighting as sword-shield soldiers. Aaliyah immediately said. We will become stronger if we don't use shields. Atli said. Aaliyah hesitated then nodded too. Zhou was not surprised. This pair of catgirl sisters had talents in agility. They were not good at using strength. Giving up on the use of the shield was indeed beneficial to them. Actually, logically speaking, their best profession should be assassins. However, Zhou did not have a class change book related to the assassin class. Therefore, he could only arrange melee professions like sword-shield soldiers for them. But now Zhou looked at them and had other thoughts. There will be a dojo in the territory in the next 2 days. At that time, the subjects can enter the dojo and change their profession to martial artists. When the time comes, the 2 of you can change your profession to martial artists, Zhou said. Martial artists had unlimited potential as a combat profession. Moreover, they should be able to obtain agility martial arts secret manuals in the future. It should suit the 2 of them. Yes, my lord. The 2 sisters said excitedly. They were quite satisfied with being sword-shield soldiers, but if they could become combat professions that was more suitable for them, the 2 of them were naturally very willing. Zhou acknowledged. Then they saw Atli, the younger cat girl, who could not help but glance in the direction of the grilled fish. Her throat was even vaguely swallowing. Zhou could not help but laugh. You 2 haven't eaten yet, right? He asked. The elemental archer sisters and us have been assigned to patrol. It won't be our turn to eat until the shift changes. Atli was stunned for a moment before she said. At the same time, she looked at Zhou with desire. Aaliyah lowered her head with a flushed face. This little sister of hers was really... Zhou smiled. Then, he turned around and brought over the plate of grilled fish meat and handed it to them. The 2 of them quickly took it. You've done a good job killing the enemy. Consider this a reward for you. Take it back and eat them with the elves, Zhou said. Thank you, my lord. The catgirl sisters' eyes lit up. How could the lord be so good? They could not help but think. Then they left excitedly with the grilled fish after bidding farewell to Zhou. Another half an hour passed. The soldiers returned to their peak combat strength. Seeing this, Zhou asked the soldiers to clean up the trash on the spot. Then, he led the soldiers towards the territory of the water demon Scarlet Lord. And see. Chapter 92: Killing the Water Demon Scarlet Lord. Mission completed. Water Demon Scarlet Lord and Sis Territory. The Water Demon Lake. This was an artificial lake that was 2 to 3 times larger than the Purple Scale Lake. The lake was extremely calm, like lifeless stagnant water. Zhou stood on a hill in the distance and looked at the Water Demon Lake from afar. He could not help but frown slightly. The lake was so big. Nazario probably could not replicate the burning of the entire purple scale lake to destroy all the purple scale murderfishes. Let's see if we can provoke them out. Jojo thought for a moment. Then, he looked up at Nazario and conveyed his orders. After receiving Jojo's order, Nazario, which was in the air, swooned down. When it was still 50 to 60 meters away from the water demon lake, it suddenly stopped its huge body. Then it opened its dragon mouth and a red light brewed in it. Boxinoviel. Com the next second. Boom! The scorching magma dragon breath instantly spewed out and exploded into the water demon lake below. Kill notifications appeared in front of Jojo one after another. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed a black iron tier elementary grade water demon. Promotion energy +2. Loots condensed. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed a black iron tier elementary grade water demon. Promotion energy +8. Loots condensed. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed the green bronze tier intermediate grade water demon leader. Promotion energy +40. Loots condensed. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed a white silver tier elementary grade water demon leader. Promotion energy +200. Loots condensed. In the dozens of kill notifications, a kill notification of a white silver tier elementary grade water demon leader came into view. Jojo was stunned. His original intention was to let Nazario kill some water demons and see if he could provoke the water demon lord and see out. He did not expect it to kill a white silver tier elementary grade water demon leader directly. Jojo smiled. Even if it was a white silver tier advanced grade Scarlet Lord, watching a white silver tier elementary grade leader level subordinate of its being killed would probably make its heart ache, right? That was indeed the case. The next second, a furious roar from the soul seemed to resound in everyone's ears. Some soldiers who were not strong enough fainted under this furious roar. While the remaining soldiers did not faint, their faces suddenly turned pale and they looked a little dazed. Jojo had elementary grade mental potential, and his mental power far exceeded his peers. Therefore he was not affected much. Soon Dr. Zhang Qianjing ran over. My lord, I went to take a look just now. I realized that the soldiers were only stunned. They suffered some mental damage, but it's not a big deal. They will be fine after resting for a while. He reported respectfully. That's good. Take care of them, Jojo acknowledged. Then he ordered Nazario to continue attacking. At the same time, he extended his right hand and aimed his palm at the water demon lake. He did not use his Black Iron Tier Lord Insight Defection talent to incite them to defect when facing the first two Scarlet Lords previously. At this moment, it was activated. Boom! An invisible fluctuation instantly covered the entire water demon lake. Under the water demon lake, more than 3,000 monsters that were half ox and half horse, covered in black fur and with two black horns on their heads, were wandering silently under the water. They were the water demon subjects under the water demon Scarlet Lord. They had also seen the scene of the magma dragon breath in the distance killing dozens of water demon. However, they were not sad looking at their dead companion. Their eyes were empty and cold. They only have biological instincts and feel a little emotional. They escaped from the place where the magma dragon breath had spewed out in fear. At this moment, an invisible fluctuation instantly spread. Some of the water demons immediately froze. When they came back to their senses, their eyes quietly became lively. My lord, they said in a dry and unfamiliar voice. In the deepest part of the lake. And see, the water demon stood there quietly. Around it were 3 white silver tier elementary grade water demon leaders. There were originally 4 of them. However, there were only 3 of them left after one of them died after the magma dragon breath just now. It was also because it had witnessed that scene with its own eyes, that the water demon Scarlet Lord realized deeply that the terrifying attack coming from above the lake was definitely not something it could withstand. Therefore it did not want to go out at all. It did not care about the deaths of the water demon subjects at all as long as it, and its 3 most important subjects were alive. With the 3 of them around, it could make a comeback before long even if it suffered heavy losses today. At this moment, an invisible fluctuation instantly swept past. The water demon Scarlet Lord and C did not react. However, the 3 top-notch water demon subordinates beside it suddenly froze. Then they looked at each other. They all understood each other's identity. At this moment, they were not only top-notch water demons but also top-notch spies. When they looked at the water demon Scarlet Lord and Sea again, their eyes were no longer as respectful as before. However, they did not act rashly. Instead, they silently sent a message to Zhou and told their lord the location of this water demon Scarlet Lord. On the shore, Zhou looked at the notification in front of him. Prompt: you have activated your lord's exclusive talent, Insight Defection. Insight Defection has taken effect. Lord Talent Hint: a total of 21 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Water Demons, 15 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Water Demons, 12 Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Water Demon Elites, 10 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Water Demon Leaders, 6 Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Water Demon Leaders, and 3 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Water Demon Leaders have betrayed their lord's faction and become your loyal subordinates. Zhou looked at the lord's talent notification in front of him in a daze. He could not believe his eyes. What kind of luck did he have today? First, he accidentally killed a White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Water Demon Leader. Then, he instigated the opposing 3 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Water Demon Leaders to defect? After he received the news from the 3 of them, Zhou realized that this water demon Scarlet Lord was already surrounded by moles. Zhou exclaimed in awe. He suddenly pitied the water demon Scarlet Lord. It was too unlucky. Then, he told Nazario the location of the water demon Scarlet Lord without hesitation. After Nazario knew the location, it directly turned the direction of its dragon breath and attacked Nc, the water demon Scarlet Lord. Under the lake, when Nc saw the magma dragon breath suddenly change direction and rush towards it, it was stunned. Then it hurriedly called out to its 3 good brothers and quickly swam into the distance. The 3 water demon, good brothers told the water demon Scarlet Lord to run in the water demon's language, showing their loyalty. They kept reporting its latest location to Zhou. Therefore, the water demon Scarlet Lord panicked. Why was this attack following it wherever it went? Could it be that the fellow above the lake was actually so terrifying? The enemy could still sense its location even though it had already dived so deep? Soon, Nc, the water demon Scarlet Lord, tried to dodge the attack of the magma dragon breath again but failed to dodge, and was directly covered by it. A soul-shattering scream appeared in the minds of every soldier on the shore again. The other party's screams gradually quietened down after more than 10 seconds. A kill notification appeared. Your pet lava dragon Nazario has killed Nc, the water demon Scarlet Lord. Promotion energy plus 800. Loots condensed. The territory of the Scarlet Lord has become ownerless. You can plunder or occupy it. Prompt: mission: eliminate the Scarlet Lords has been completed. Mission reward: 300 yellow gold tier mist cores and 10 yellow gold tier aurora crystals have been issued. Prompt 1. 200 Fish Spring Town residents will submit to your territory tomorrow. Prompt 2. Your reputation in the Aurora Kingdom has increased to a certain extent. When you recruit talents from the Aurora Kingdom, you have a higher chance of success. Prompt 3. The King of the Aurora Kingdom will hear of your achievements soon. His favorability towards you has increased, and he will open the right to trade Aurora crystals to you. Chapter 93 Loots from Nc, the water demon Scarlet Lord. A smile appeared on his face after Zhou saw the mission completion notification. 300 yellow gold tier mist cores. In addition, there were 10 yellow gold tier aurora crystals. These rewards alone made his efforts worth it. At this moment, Nazario suddenly roared in the sky. Its voice was filled with joy. At the same time, scorching fire elements condensed into an elemental torrent and quickly surged into its body. Nazario's body began to grow rapidly. 8 meters, 10 meters, 13 meters. It stopped growing only after it hit 14 meters tall. Boxin Com a moment later, the torrent of fire elements gradually dissipated. Nazario also immediately conveyed its excitement to Zhou. This is a breakthrough? Zhou said in surprise when he saw this familiar scene. He immediately opened Nazario's attribute information. That was indeed the case. Nazario had already advanced from white silver tier elementary grade to white silver tier intermediate grade. It has finally broken through. A smile appeared on Jojo's face. Nazario was his strongest main force on the battlefield. It had broken through, which meant that he would be even more confident in dealing with higher-level Scarlet Lords in the future. Then he looked at the Water Demon Lake. His expression became serious again. Even though in C the Water Demon Scarlet Lord was already dead, there were still more than 2,000 Water Demon monsters under the Water Demon Lake. Their battle was far from over. He ordered the 3 white silver tier elementary grade Water Demon leaders to lead the other Water Demons that had been instigated to start destroying this group of Water Demon monsters in the Water Demon Lake through his mind guidance. Nazario did not stop to rest after breaking through. Instead, it continued to use the Magma Dragon Breath to destroy the Water Demons. After breaking through, Nazario's strength had increased further, and the power of the Magma Dragon Breath became even stronger. The efficiency of destroying these Water Demons was clearly higher. At the same time, Bai Yi led the poison crossbowmen and elemental archers to a place not far from the shore to line up. Smear blood eye, Bai Yi ordered. As soon as she finished speaking, some of the poison crossbowmen and elemental archers took out the blood eye potion and poured some out. They smeared it on their eyelids and handed the remaining potions to their comrades beside them. They quickly saw the blood-red blood energy swimming quickly under the Water Demon Lake as the medicinal effect began to take effect. Even though the blood energy of these Water Demon was very thin and almost non-existent, the long-range soldiers could still find their location. All long-range soldiers shoot freely. Destroy all the Water Demons under the lake, Bai Yi ordered loudly. Yes. All the long-range soldiers roared. Then they immediately drew their bows and shot freely at the blood energy shadow in the Water Demon Lake. There were a total of more than 2,000 long-range soldiers. They only shot for a minute and 1/5 of the blood energy shadows under the Water Demon Lake immediately disappeared. 15 minutes later, there were no longer any traces of blood under the Water Demon Lake. All the Water Demons were shot dead. A moment later. Greetings, Lord. 2 white silver tier elementary grade Water Demon leaders and 3 green bronze tier intermediate grade Water Demon leaders came to Jojo and stammered. As for the other 62 Water Demons which had been instigated to defect, they had already been killed in the internal strife under the lake. Jojo looked at the 5 of them in surprise. How do you know how to talk? Moreover, in the Cerulean planet language? We were sentient creatures when we were alive. After becoming my lord's subordinate, we automatically mastered my lord's language. A white silver tier elementary grade Water Demon took the lead to reply. Its speech had clearly become much more fluent. Jojo acknowledged. He looked at the 5 Water Demons. So ugly. They were completely different creatures compared to the beautiful elves. However, no matter how ugly they were, they have also become his subjects. He had to treat everyone equally. How long can you live on land? Jojo asked. We can survive on land for 3 days if we are not injured. We have to go back underwater within 3 days. Otherwise, we'll die because we're not used to the living conditions on land, the leader of the Water Demons said. Then come back to Blazing Sun City with us later. From today onwards, you're subjects of my Blazing Sun City. When we reach Blazing Sun City, I'll think of a way to get you an underwater environment suitable for you, Jojo said. It was a little difficult to get an environment suitable for them to live in, but these were 5 high-end combatants after all. 2 of them were even white silver tier elementary grade Water Demon leaders. This was also the first time Jojo had obtained soldiers which could fight underwater. He was unwilling to give them up so easily. Thank you, my lord. The 5 Water Demons said respectfully. Do you know where Nsis territory token treasures and resources are? Jojo asked. We do. Then go into the water again. Bring them all up. He said. Yes, my lord. The 5 Water Demons said respectfully. Then they turned around and rushed into the Water Demon Lake again. A moment later. With the help of the soldiers, 1 green bronze tier intermediate grade territory token, 30,000 units of stone, 20,000 units of wood, 15,000 units of metal, 10,000 units of fine sand, 3,526 black iron tier mist cores, 557 green bronze tier mist cores, and 24 white silver tier mist cores were brought up. After putting away the loot, Zhou took out the 3 conqueror blast furnaces. Then, he got the 5 water demons to send over the 3,000 water demon corpses from underwater. Then they were all thrown into the conqueror's blast furnace to retrieve the loot. When the water demons' corpses were sent up, Zhou looked at their corpse information. Item name: Water Demon Corpse. Item level: Black Iron Tier Elementary. Item effect: Contains unextracted loots. Item description: Fog monster killed by the Lord of the Blazing Sun's pet. Prompt: In 2 hours this corpse will turn into fog and be reborn at a certain time in the future. Loots: 2 black iron tier mist cores. Drop rate: 100%. 10 kilograms water bag. Drop rate: 5%. 1 black iron tier elementary grade skill book. Deep water stealth. Drop rate: 3%. 1 black iron tier elementary grade skill book. Deep water heal. Drop rate: 1%. Then, Zhou looked at the drop rates of the other water demons. He realized that their loot would not change much for water demons below the black iron tier advanced grade. It was just that the level of the skill book had increased. When they reached the green bronze tier water demon leader, there was a skill book called Shrieking Howl amongst their loot. This should be the skill that dealt a certain blow to the soldier's mental strength just now. Soon the corpse of the water demon Scarlet Lord and C was brought up. Zhou looked at it. Monster name: Water Demon Scarlet Lord and C Scarlet Lord. Strength level: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Monster description: The strongest Scarlet Lord in Fish Spring Town. It has many water demon subjects under its command. They are undead creatures that have mutated from dead creatures. They want to drag all living creatures down into the water with them. Loots: 20 white silver tier mist cores. Drop rate: 100%. 5 origin crystals. Drop rate: 100%. 300 kilograms water bag. 1 white silver tier advanced grade skill book. Deep water stealth. Drop rate: 3%. 1 white silver tier advanced grade skill book. Deep water heal. Drop rate: 1%. 1 white silver tier advanced grade skill book. Shrieking Howl. Drop rate: 0.5%. 1 white silver tier advanced grade martial arts manual. Dark water mystic technique. Drop rate: 0.3%. 8 black iron tier lord. Talent crystal fragments. Drop rate: 0%. Chapter 94: Dark Water Mystic Technique. Zhang Bo in shock. Zhou could not help but feel disappointed after looking at its loots. There was no new Lord Talent Sphere. However, he quickly adjusted his mood. It was random to begin with. He could not force it. He laid a hand on its corpse. A golden notification appeared. Do you want to retrieve the loot? Yes, Zhou thought to himself. The next second, a text notification appeared. Boxin OVL. COM Lord Talent Hint. You have obtained these loots: 20 mist cores white silver tier, 5 origin crystals, 4,000 kilograms water bags, 1 skill book, Deep Water Stealth white silver tier advanced grade, 1 skill book, Deep Water Heal white silver tier advanced grade, 1 skill book, Shrieking Howl white silver tier advanced grade, 1 martial arts manual, Dark Water Mystic Technique, white silver tier advanced grade, 8 Lord Talent crystal fragments, black iron tier. Whoosh! A large amount of loots dropped. The largest quantity was 4,000 kilograms of water bags. This was the first time Zhou had seen a Scarlet Lord that could drop so much water. Then, he put away the mist cores and origin crystals. He also asked the soldiers to put the water bags on the Mechanostrider loot transport team. Then he looked at his next reward. First were the skill books. Skill name: Deep Water Stealth. Skill quality: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Skill description: You can silently and freely wander underwater. The life forms below the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade in the water are unable to discover your existence with their perception. Skill name: Deep Water Heal. Skill quality: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Skill description: When you are injured, you can dive underwater and recover from your injuries by absorbing the water elemental energy in the water. When the strength of your injuries is lower than that of a White Silver Tier Advanced Grade, the Deep Water Heal will recover your injuries normally. When the strength of your injuries is higher than that of a White Silver Tier Advanced Grade, the recovery time will be extended. Skill name: Shrieking Howl. Skill quality: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Skill description: let out a howl that attacks the enemy's mental power, dealing a blow to the enemy's spirit. There is a small chance that you will directly stun enemies below the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. There is a high chance that the enemy will be shocked by the spirit, and their combat strength will decrease greatly in a short period of time. If the enemy is a spellcaster, there is a high chance that they can interrupt the enemy's spellcasting. For enemies above the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade, it will also cause the other party to feel mental discomfort. These 3 skills were all White Silver Tier Advanced Grade skills. Zhou was still at the Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade, so he naturally could not learn it. He could only save it and learn it in the future. Fortunately, there were Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Deep Water Stealth, Deep Water Heal, and Shrieking Howl dropped from the other water demons. It was much weaker than the skills of a White Silver Tier Advanced Grade, but it could also allow Zhou to master these 3 skills now. After learning 3 skills, Zhou looked at the Martial Arts Manual. Martial Arts Manual: Dark Water Mystic Technique. Secret Manual Quality: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Cultivation Effect 1. Dark Water Breathing Technique. You can use the dark water breathing technique underwater to greatly extend your survival time in the water. You can last for at least 2 hours. The duration will be extended as your strength increases. Cultivation Effect 2. Dark Water Cultivation Technique. You can cultivate martial arts underwater and absorb the water elemental energy in the water, turning it into your own promotion energy to break through your strength realm. Cultivation Effect 3. Dark Water Martial Artist. You can fight freely underwater. You are more like a fish in water compared to fighting on land. You will also receive combat strength bonuses. Agility plus 200%, strength plus 200%, stamina recovery speed plus 200%, energy recovery speed plus 200%. Note: the Dark Water Martial Artist Combat Strength Enhancement effect will maintain its maximum value before reaching the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade and reaching the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. When a martial artist breaks through to the Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade or even higher, the Dark Water Martial Artist Combat Strength Enhancement effect will decrease. This martial arts manual is a little unorthodox. A martial art that specializes in fighting underwater? Zhou hesitated for a moment before learning. He might not have much use for the Dark Water Cultivation Technique and the Dark Water Martial Artist Cultivation Effect, but Cultivation Effect 2 of the Dark Water Cultivation Technique was still quite useful to him. It could speed up his cultivation. Moreover, this was a White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Martial Arts Manual. Zhou did not want to waste it. Soon, he had grasped the Dark Water Mystic Technique. I'll try using it in the bathtub when I get back. Let's see if I can cultivate the Dark Water Mystic Technique in the bathtub, Zhou thought. Then he opened his Combat Class column. Combat Class Name: Martial Artist, Strength Level, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade. Martial Arts Manual: Dark Water Mystic Technique, White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Gust Blade, Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou was satisfied. Even though he had learned the Dark Water Mystic Technique, it didn't mean that he didn't need the Gust Blade. In fact, most of the martial artists in the High Continent practiced multiple martial arts. There were only a few special martial arts manuals which required martial artists to cultivate one martial arts technique alone. However, there were very few such martial arts manuals, and their power might not be strong. In the time that followed, the soldiers sent the corpses of the water demons sent by the water demon leaders into the Conqueror's blast furnace. More than an hour later, all the water demon corpses became loots. There were a total of 3,222 water demon corpses. Among them, there were a total of 2,375 Black Iron Tier water demons and water demon elites, 844 Green Bronze Tier water demon leaders, and 3 White Silver Tier elementary grade water demon leaders. He obtained a total of 8,912 Black Iron Tier mist cores, 2,676 Green Bronze Tier mist cores, and 6 White Silver Tier mist cores. 178,360 kilograms of water bags, 3,222 books of deep water stealth, Black Iron Tier, Green Bronze Tier, White Silver Tier elementary grade, 3,222 deep water heal. Black Iron Tier, Green Bronze Tier, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. 847 copies of Shrieking Howl. Green Bronze Tier, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. This was all the gains. All the Scarlet Lords in Fish Spring Town have been dealt with. I should look for Zhang Bowen next, Zhou thought. At the same time, Fish Spring Town. In the administrative hall of the mayor's office, Zhang Bowen sat at his desk. The table in front of him was piled with documents that needed to be dealt with, but his eyes were wandering and he kept looking at the door from time to time. Clearly, his mind was no longer on the pile of documents. This moment, thump, thump, thump. There was a knock on the door. Come in, Zhang Bowen immediately said. Soon the door was pushed open. A young man with a mustache walked in quickly. Mayor, here's the latest intel. Our people went to the Purple Scale Lake after the Lord of the Blazing Sun left with his troops. We found that the Purple Scale Lake has been burned dry. All the Purple Scale murderfishes inside have disappeared. Only a pile of Purple Scale murderfish bones was left at the scene, the mustached man said excitedly. Zhang Bowen looked at him in a daze. So fast? 2 Scarlet Lords have been killed by him already? He muttered. Yes, the Lord of the Blazing Sun is indeed one of the most famous top-notch lords in our Aurora Kingdom. He is already so strong in just 7 days. In another year and a half, I think he can challenge a Crimson Kingdom. The mustached man laughed. Exaggeration. I don't think he can challenge the Crimson Kingdom. Do you think he can destroy the Water Demon Scarlet Lord? After a moment of shock, Zhang Bowen came back to his senses and asked. It shouldn't be a problem, the mustached man said. Zhang Bowen nodded. Prepare the banquet. I guess it won't be long before our hero arrives. We must show him how much we value him, Zhang Bowen suddenly said. Yes, Mayor. I'll prepare it now. The mustached man immediately left. Zhang Bowen was still thinking about what the man had just said. Teacher, is this the Lord you value? He muttered to himself. A rare look of envy appeared on his face. Then, he came back to his senses and began to write to the king. He had to report this matter to His Majesty the King. Only then could the Lord of the Blazing Sun receive the respect and importance he deserved. Half an hour later, there was an urgent knock on Zhang Bowen's door. The man from before entered. Mayor, the Lord of the Blazing Sun has eliminated the Water Demon Scarlet Lord, and is now coming towards us, the mustached man said. Zhang Bowen rose from his seat immediately. Chapter 95 Excavating Talent Potential. New Face? After Zhou brought the soldiers to Fish Spring Town, he arranged for the soldiers to stay in the suburbs and asked Nazario to guard them. He used only one morning to destroy 3 Scarlet Lords' territories. During this period he obtained too many loots. Zhou did not want to see his loot snatched by a passerby when he returned from a trip to Fish Spring Town. The chances were not high, but there was nothing wrong with being cautious. Moreover, with the hero by his side and his ability to telepathy with Nazario at any time so that it would immediately rush over to help him. Therefore, Zhou was not worried about his safety. Soon, Bai and him arrived at Fish Spring Town. When the two of them arrived at the city gate, they were immediately stunned. Boxinoviel. Com Zhang Bowen, the mayor of Fish Spring Town, was standing with 40 to 50 men and women in the official uniforms of the Aurora Kingdom. Their eyes lit up when they saw Zhou and the others coming over. Then they welcomed them with smiles. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun for returning victorious. From now on, our Fish Spring Town won't have to worry about the monsters of the 3 Scarlet Lords harming people. Zhang Ben held Zhou's hand and said happily, "This is all the credit of the Lord of the Blazing Sun. The Lord of the Blazing Sun already has such achievements at such a young age. I'm really envious. Lord of the Blazing Sun, are you tired? Do you want to find a place to rest first?" These Fish Spring Town officials also said enthusiastically, "Mayor Zhang, you don't have to do this. We had an agreement to destroy the 3 Scarlet Lords. I just did what I promised to do." Zhou could not stand their enthusiasm. He quietly took a step back and said, "Lord of the Blazing Sun, you're too humble." When Zhang Ben heard his words, his impression of Zhou became even better. After that, he pulled Zhou to the banquet. Zhou could not decline seeing this. He could only eat with Bai Yi and these people in the largest restaurant in Fish Spring Town. After drinking and eating his fill, Zhang Bowen smiled. I've already written the document requesting credit for you, Lord of the Blazing Sun. Very soon, His Majesty will know how powerful you are. When the others heard this, they looked at Zhou with envy. They knew this Lord of the Blazing Sun would probably soon become a popular person in the eyes of the king and the entire Aurora Kingdom. They were all planning to curry favor with this future big shot of the Aurora Kingdom after the banquet ends. Half an hour later, the banquet ended. Zhang Bowen wanted Zhou to stay a little longer. However, Zhou refused this time. Mayor Zhang, my soldiers are waiting for me outside the city. And there's something very important waiting for me to resolve tomorrow. I have to continue my preparations for it, so I won't stay here much longer. Let's meet again another day, Zhou said. All right. Zhang Bowen relented regretfully. He knew that tomorrow was an important day for the Lord of the Blazing Sun, and the other lords of the myriad races through some channels, so he did not persuade them further. Good luck. Zhang Bowen blessed him. Thank you very much, Zhou acknowledged. Then, he bade farewell to the other officials of Fish Spring Town and left with Bai Yi. The officials of the Fish Spring Town could only watch them leave before they could cozy up to Zhou. More than an hour later. Blazing Sun City. Zhou had just returned and had yet to enter the city when he saw Zhao Changshu instructing his subjects to build the Aurora Tower from afar. Zhao Changshu also saw Zhou. His eyes lit up. He immediately walked over quickly and arrived in front of Zhou. My lord, you're finally back. Can I lend the soldiers to my subordinates to help build the wall? He immediately said. He did not even ask Zhou if he had won or lost. Was there a need to ask? In the hearts of the citizens of Blazing Sun City, their lord was the invincible god of war. After all, when had the lord ever returned with news of defeat? He must have won against his opponent. Zhao Changshu was even more certain of this, seeing everyone's relaxed smiles. Let the soldiers rest for an hour before they continue helping out at the construction, Zhou said. Of course. Zhao Changshu nodded and left happily. It was unknown if he was happy that the soldiers would help build the wall, or that the Lord had returned victorious again. Zhou did not immediately enter Blazing Sun City. Instead, he got someone to bring the 3 unconscious Black Iron Tier elementary grade Wildsand believers to the monster ranches and handed them to Mugu. The 4th monster ranch shall nurture this monster. Zhou pointed at the Wildsand believers and instructed Mugu. Yes, my lord, Mugu said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. The Novice Lord test is tomorrow. A large number of enemies might come and attack us during that time. The sand crystal walls of Blazing Sun City can't protect you for the time being. If there's really no other way, you can abandon these 4 monster ranches and bring some monsters into the city wall to ensure your own safety. You don't have to care even if the monster ranches are destroyed in the Novice Lord test. After the Novice Lord test is over, you'll just spend some resources and rebuild the monster ranches, Zhou said. The 4 green bronze tier intermediate grade monster ranches were huge. Therefore, the sand crystal walls of Blazing Sun City could not protect this place at all. In Zhou's heart, if there was danger here tomorrow, he could abandon the 4 monster ranches. At most, he would spend some resources to rebuild them. To the rich and imposing Zhou, the resources needed to rebuild were really nothing. But Mugu was different. He could not guarantee that Mugu would be able to revive if he accidentally died in the Novice Lord test. Or perhaps, would his white-silver tier Lord Talent monster ranches be crippled because of Mugu's death? That was not what Zhou wanted to see. Therefore, Mugu's safety was very important to him. My lord, don't worry. I'm a monster rancher and also a monster shepherd. I can get all the fog monsters to be at my disposal in the monster ranch. If I really encounter any danger, I have a certain level of ability to protect myself. If it's really dangerous, I'll automatically enter the city, Mugu said respectfully. You have such an ace up your sleeve? Zhou was stunned. These were 4 monster ranches. There were a total of 4,000 monsters when it was at full capacity. If he could really command them all, Mugu's combat strength alone was probably comparable to all the soldiers under his command. Of course, that did not include Nazario and Bai. But even so, Mugu's ability was also very powerful. Then can you bring all the monsters to fight with the soldiers when the Novice Lord test begins tomorrow? Zhou asked expectantly. Well, not at the moment. But when I advance to Diamond Tier Advanced Grade Monster Rancher and Monster Shepherd, I should be able to bring the monsters out to fight, Mugu said. Zhou was stunned. Diamond Tier Advanced Grade? Wasn't that the limit of Mugu's potential? What he meant was that as long as the White Silver Tier Lord talent of the Monster Ranch grew to its limit, what he wanted was very likely to happen. Oh my god. Zhou felt that the future described by Mugu was very shocking. It had to be known that Mugu, who was at the Green Bronze Tier Intermediate grade, could theoretically control 5,000 fog monsters. When he was promoted to a Diamond Tier Advanced grade, how many monsters would he have under his Monster Rancher command? Zhou could not help but click his tongue. He saw that every Lord talent had extremely high potential to unearth. The Black Iron Tier Lord talent's Insight Defection, Return to the City were the same. The White Silver Tier Lord talent Monster Ranch was even more so. Make sure you're safe. Since Mugu had said so, Zhou naturally chose to believe him. Therefore, he only reminded him before returning to the city. He had yet to use the Pudeo Soldier recruitment book to recruit Pudeo soldiers, when Zheng Yuanqi quickly walked over with an old man. Congratulations on your triumphant return, my lord. After he came over, he smiled and congratulated him immediately. Zhou smiled and nodded. Then he looked at the unfamiliar old man beside Zheng Yuanqi. Who is he? Zhou was a little puzzled. Chapter 96 Reputation Rating Talent, Wuxia. Recruitment of Pudeo soldiers. Zhou looked at the old man. The hairs of the old man's temples were graying. He was hale and hearty, and he was standing tall. He was clearly very old. However, his essence, energy, and spirit were not inferior to that of a young man at all. It would even be better. At this moment he was also looking at Zhou with bright eyes. This old man was not ordinary. He thought, "May I know your name, Elder One?" After Zhou realized this, he immediately said politely, "I'm just a retired old man, Boxin OVL. Com, my lord, you can call me Wuxia." Wuxia cupped his fists. Zhou was stunned. This sentence sounded familiar. Retirement. Old man. Zhou reacted. He was the talent attracted by his reputation rating. That was indeed the case. Zheng Yuanqi smiled and introduced. My lord. Let me introduce you. Wuxia. My old friend. He was the previous great general of the Aurora Kingdom. He's also the previous commander of the Aurora Kingdom's strongest army. For the past 50 years, he has been the one who has been leading the soldiers of the Aurora Kingdom to fight against the Scarlet Kingdom. Whether it's military theory or actual combat ability, inside the Aurora Kingdom, if he says he's second, I don't think anyone dares to claim to be number one. If it weren't for the fact that he's old and it's time to abdicate to give the young people a chance, the current position of the Aurora Kingdom's great general will definitely still be his. When Zheng Yuanqi said this, his expression was quite certain. Wuxia did not say anything. Zhou looked at the two old men in front of him. Good God! A former Prime Minister of the Aurora Kingdom, and a former Great General of the Aurora Kingdom. Aurora Kingdom, Aurora Kingdom. You've almost become my exclusive reputation rating talent pool. Zhou could not help but mutter in his heart. Welcome to Blazing Sun City, Elder Wu. After coming back to his senses, he smiled at Wuxia. I've long heard of the Lord's reputation. Actually, I've wanted to come and take a look for a long time. Now my wish has come true. Wuxia smiled and nodded. Elder Wu, you're too kind. Zhou smiled. Then, he opened the other party's attribute panel. Subject. Wuxia's territory. Blazing Sun City. Soldier type. Aurora Cavalry. Strength level. Yellow Gold Tier Elementary grade. He had the strength of a Diamond Tier Advanced grade at his peak. Later, his strength fell to Yellow Gold Tier Elementary grade because his old injury relapsed and he is getting on age. Ability Overview. The previous great general of the Aurora Kingdom is good at leading troops to war, figuring out the enemy's psychology, setting traps, and is best at military formations. Skills. Talent, ability to grasp situation thoroughly. Diamond tier advanced grade military theory. Diamond tier advanced grade military management. Diamond tier advanced grade battle array theory. Diamond tier advanced grade troop arrangement. Diamond tier advanced grade military array, furry array. Diamond tier advanced grade military array and night forest array. Diamond tier advanced grade military array, fire array. Diamond tier advanced grade military array, mountain control array. Diamond tier intermediate grain management. Diamond tier advanced grade royal court battle. White platinum tier advanced grade persuasion physical. Loyalty. 85 potential. Extraordinary tier advanced grade. Zhou looked at the skill panel and could not help but think. This Wu Exine was a top talent who was not inferior to Zhang Yuanqi at all. Without a doubt. It was just that. Elder Zhang, Elder Wu, did you know each other for a long time? Zhou suddenly asked. The two of them were stunned for a moment before nodding. Old Zhang and I grew up together. We both joined the army together. Later on, we were even assigned to the same cavalry army and became comrades who had gone through life and death together. Later on, he was injured and retired. He turned to researching matters in the court. I stayed in the army. That continued for a few decades. He became the prime minister. And I became the great general. When Wu Exine said this, both of them had sighing smiles on their faces. Zhou acknowledged. I was wondering what was going on with skills relating to royal court battles and physical persuasion. Elder Wu, I want to invite you to be the deputy commander of the Blazing Sun Army. How about that? Zhou pondered for a moment and asked. This subordinate accepts this order. Wu Exine said respectfully. May I know who the Legion commander is? He asked curiously. She's a girl. And the first soldier to follow me. Even though she's quite strong at her age, but her combat experience is definitely not comparable to yours, Elder Wu. When the time comes, I hope Elder Wu can guide her so that she can become a qualified Legion commander. Zhou said. My lord, you're too kind. I will do my best. Elder Wu said respectfully. Old Wu, don't look down on her just because she's a girl. That female Legion commander is a hero. Even I have to respect her when I see her. Zhang Yuanqi shook his head. When Wu Exine heard this, his old body trembled. Disbelief flashed across his eyes. A moment later, Elder Wu went to the Blazing Sun Army's encampment to understand the situation. Zhou and Zhang Yuanqi were still chatting. This old brother of mine has fought on the battlefield his entire life. His personality is still as unyielding. After he retired, he mellowed down a lot and is much less stubborn than before. But he has a lifelong regret, which was that he couldn't become a hero. Now he knows that Legion Commander Bai is a hero. I'm afraid he'll have to deal with this blow for a long time. Zhang Yuanqi said. Why did you bring this up then? Zhou said. I like to see him suffer. Zhang Yuanqi chuckled. Zhou. His good brother was being hammered down by him. He will have to know sooner or later. It's better if I say it first. Zhang Yuanqi smiled. Then he bade farewell to Zhou and turned around to get busy. Zhou did not think too much about it. He came to the gate of summoning and threw in the 762 Pudeo soldier recruitment books he had obtained from the territory of the Wild Sand leader. A moment later, in front of him were rows of neat Pudeo soldiers. They were wearing the standard equipment of the black and gray Pudeo soldiers, and holding a Pudeo that was half the height of a person. They had a fierce and sharp aura. Ordinary people did not dare to approach easily. Zhou opened the interface information of one of them. Subject: Zhouhuanin Territory, Blazing Sun City. Soldier type: Pudeo soldier. Strength level: Black Iron Tier. Elementary grade. Ability overview: The son of a rich businessman has yearned to make contributions on the battlefield since he was young. When he grew up, he directly joined the army despite his family's objections. After training as a recruit, he participated in 32 small-scale battles and became a qualified Pudeo soldier. Skill: Black Iron Tier. Elementary grade. Decapitation saber technique. Loyalty: 72. Potential: White Silver Tier. Advanced grade. Zhou nodded slightly. Then he asked these soldiers to find Zhongsong and join the Blazing Sun Army. After which, he returned to the Lord's courtyard and took out the Yellow Gold Tier Scarlet Lord Talent Sphere. I wonder what Lord Talent it is this time? Zhou was really looking forward to it. Chapter 97 Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent, Mysterious Caravan. 1. Zhou looked at the yellow gold tier Scarlet Lord Talent sphere. Do you want to purify it? Purify, he said expectantly. The next second, a golden light flashed on the Scarlet Lord Talent sphere. After the golden light disappeared, the blood-colored light on the Scarlet Lord Talent sphere had already disappeared. Its information had also changed. Treasure name, Lord Talent sphere, Mysterious Caravan, treasure grade, yellow gold tier, treasure effect. After absorbing it, the Lord will possess the yellow gold tier Lord Talent, Mysterious Caravan, Boxen OVL, COM treasure description. A Lord Talent sphere purified by the Supreme Will. You can obtain a yellow gold tier Lord Talent after absorbing it. Mysterious Caravan? Zhou was stunned. He did not think too much about it and chose to absorb it. A golden text notification appeared. Do you want to absorb this Lord's Talent sphere, white silver tier? Yes, he said. As soon as he finished speaking, the white silver tier Lord Talent sphere immediately turned into countless silver light spots and surged into his glabella. Zhou closed his eyes. A moment later, he reopened his eyes again after some time. Then, he immediately opened his Lord's personal information. His Lord Talent column had already been updated. Lord Talent, 100% drop rate, legendary tier. Gnome Alchemy Workshop, Monster Ranch white silver tier. Insight Defection black iron tier. Peace and Prosperity, diamond tier. Return to the City black iron tier. Mysterious Caravan yellow gold tier. The 7th Lord Talent. A smile appeared on Zhou's face. Then he opened the details of the talent. Lord Talent, Mysterious Caravan yellow gold tier. Mysterious Caravan. Your territory has a mysterious caravan blessed by the Supreme Will. You can send them out to buy resources needed by your territory or sell goods made by your territory's subjects. Supreme Blessing Mysterious Trading. In the eyes of your subjects, the mysterious caravan is just an ordinary caravan that helps the territory carry out transactions. In the eyes of outsiders, the mysterious caravan is a special caravan that will never be known. Outsiders will never know who it is working for or what their ultimate goal is. Supreme Blessing Unlimited Rite of Passage. Kingdom level, the mysterious caravan can conduct business in any territory below the kingdom level. Even if it's a closed area that rejects living beings from the outside world, the mysterious caravan has the right to enter and carry out their business activities. Zhou was deep in thought. Its unlimited rite of passage, kingdom level, should be the most important value of this Lord Talent. The high continent was so vast. There must be some unknown faction living in seclusion in places that the living beings did not know, and they did not welcome living beings from the outside world. Therefore there might be rare treasures or resources from the outside world. Under such circumstances, ordinary factions could not enter and obtain the treasures or resources inside. However, the mysterious caravan with unlimited rite of passage could enter and obtain the treasures and resources there. In comparison, the advantage of the mysterious caravan was naturally obvious. But, how would I know where such an unknown force exists? Zhou fell silent. It seemed that he had to inquire about this in the future and see if there was any force that was unwilling to let outsiders in, but harbored special resources inside. Only then could he unleash the advantage of this unlimited rite of passage. Clang! 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 There was a knock on the door. My lord! A caravan suddenly came to the city gate and said that they want to see my lord and join your territory. They even plan to carry out long-term trade here. Zhang Yuanqi's voice sounded. It sure arrived quite quickly. Zhou thought. This was most likely his mysterious caravan. He stood up and walked over to open the door. When he saw Zhang Yuanqi, he asked him to keep himself busy while he went over to take a look. After Zhang Yuanqi left, Zhou walked towards the city gate. In front of the city gate, a group of merchants in simple clothes were surrounding a few carriages and chatting with Zhao Changshu and the others. Both sides had a pleasant conversation. Laughter could be heard from time to time. When Zhou arrived, they immediately saw each other. Greetings, my lord. Zhao Changshu and the others immediately said respectfully. Greetings, my lord. These merchants hurriedly alighted from the carriage and bowed respectfully to Zhou. After Zhou replied, his gaze landed on these merchants. They had a total of 23 people and 13 wagons loaded with goods. From the outside, they were just a group of ordinary businessmen. Especially when they looked at him with reverence and evasion, it made Zhou wonder if this was his mysterious caravan. However, when he saw the personal information of the other party's leader, he no longer had any doubts. Subject: Zhengfugu Territory, Blazing Sun City. Life profession name: Mysterious Merchant Special. Strength level: Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade. Ability overview: the leader of the mysterious caravan team. He is loyal to the Lord of the Blazing Sun, and is proficient in trading and bargaining. Any living being who knows of the existence of the mysterious caravan team will respect and revere him. Skills: Talent Familiarity, Talent Business Talent, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Commercial Trade, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Bargaining, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Eloquence, Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Mental Arithmetic. Exclusive Skill Caravan Transportation, Exclusive Skill Mysterious Caravans Protection. Loyalty: Dead Loyal. Chapter 98 Yellow Gold Tier Lord Talent, Mysterious Caravan. 2. Potential: Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou looked at the others. He realized that they were also mysterious merchants dead loyal to him. A smile appeared on Zhou's face before it quickly disappeared. He let Zhao Chongsho and the others leave first. Zhao Chongsho and the others hesitated for a moment before obeying and leaving. However, they did not go too far away. They only stood in the distance wanting to protect Zhou. Zhou did not say anything else when he saw this. Instead, he looked at Zhengfugu. His eyes were respectful and calm, no longer as fearful as before. The others were the same. Greetings, my lord. X23 Boxen OVL. COM. All the mysterious merchants said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. Just you guys. He looked at them and asked, I've something to report, my lord. These are all that we have for now. However, as the lord's territory level upgrades, the strength of our mysterious caravan will also increase, including the number of mysterious merchants, the number of carriages, the level of trade, and other commercial facilities in various caravans will be increased. Zhengfugu said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. Do you know if there are any shut-off forces nearby? He asked. We just became mysterious merchants, so we don't know this information yet. Zhou was not too disappointed. He was just trying his luck. You can pay more attention to this information in the future. Don't waste the rights you have. Zhou said. I understand. Zhengfugu said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. Then he looked at them and pondered. A moment later. Our territory has just been built. Therefore, the territory is currently lacking a lot of necessary supplies for living. For example, water, vegetables, condiments, fabric, food. Our territory is very short of these items. In addition, there are also many professionals and unemployed subjects in our territory. Even though the quality of some of the goods they make is fine, it's more difficult to circulate in the territory because of the current composition of the territory. You can communicate with them to sell the excess products they make. This way, you can also earn some profits from them, and use them to develop yourself and maintain the daily expenses of the caravan. I'll leave these things to you for the time being. Can you do it? Zhou looked at Zhengfugu and the others. Zheng Yuanqi had told him these issues in detail last night. Zhou noted everything down. Originally, he wanted to resolve it after the Novice Lord test ended. Now that he had the talent of a mysterious caravan group, why not let the mysterious caravan deal with it first? Don't worry, my lord. These are all our jobs. We're very familiar with them. I promise I won't disappoint you, my lord. Zhengfugu said in a low voice. Okay, from now on, you can call yourselves the Blazing Sun Caravan within the Blazing Sun City. To the outside world, you should still use the mysterious caravan as your identity. Zhou said. Yes, my lord. All the mysterious merchants said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. After that, he let these people enter the territory and told Zheng Yuanqi and the others that they had already become subjects of Blazing Sun City. If they needed anything, they could tell them. As long as they were paid, they could go out and help procure the supplies they needed. If there was no payment, they could temporarily use other items as collateral. For example, the products they made themselves. Even the basic resources collected could be sold. They could also use the Blazing Sun Caravan to sell their goods to the outside world. As soon as this news was released, all the subjects in Blazing Sun City were immediately pleasantly surprised. Especially life professionals. There were already more than 100 professionals in Blazing Sun City. They had a lot of goods that had been hoarded for a long time but could not be sold. The Lord did not need these goods very much. Originally, they were still worried about what to do with these goods. Now that the Blazing Sun Caravan was around, these stockpiled goods could finally be sold for real profits. The unemployed subjects were also very happy. Even though they could not create professional-level goods, however, it was still possible to make some unorthodox daily necessities and sell them through the caravan to supplement the family's expenses. As more and more subjects knew about this, an increasing number of subjects walked out of their houses with their goods and happily found Zheng Fugui and the others, wanting to earn some mist cores through Zheng Fugui's caravan. Zheng Fugui was so busy that he did not even have time to rest. Zhou looked at them. He realized that every subject had a brighter smile on their faces than usual. It was as if they had more expectations for the future. He could feel that the current Blazing Sun City was more lively than before seeing this scene. That's the charm of trade and commerce. Soon, my lord, you don't have to support the entire Blazing Sun City alone, because the subjects can feed themselves. Zhang Yuanqi walked over and chuckled. Zhou acknowledged. In the past 7 days, what the subjects ate was monster flesh made from the meat that he dropped with a 100% drop rate. They also drank the water that the desert fog lizard dropped, even though these things were not bad. However, it was not good to eat these all the time. Now that there was a mysterious caravan, he would not have to develop like this in the future. My lord should be able to tell that our Blazing Sun City will need more caravans of our own in the future. That way, the lives of the people will be better and the development of the territory will be healthier. It's better to build another commercial city to welcome guests from all over the world. This way, life professions and subjects who want to sell something to subsidize their families can have a safe place to do business. If we can build a few more safe trade routes and the subjects of the territory leave Blazing Sun City and take the initiative to go further out to trade, that would be best for business development. This will also help increase the territory's taxes, Zheng Yuanqi said. Zhou pondered. What Elder Zheng said made sense. As for the caravan, he could hand it to Elder Zheng and ask him to find someone to build it. A commercial city. Zhou immediately thought of the desolate city. That place was fully built and was relatively close to Fish Spring Town. It was completely qualified to establish a commercial city there. As for the business path, he could discuss it with Zhang Bowen after the Novice Lord test ended. With Zhang Yuanqi and Zhang Bowen's relationship, it shouldn't be a problem to establish an official business path between the desolate city and Fish Spring Town. He told Zhang Yuanqi his thoughts. Zhang Yuanqi readily agreed. Leave this to me. Coincidentally, I haven't seen my disciple in a long time. Zhang Yuanqi chuckled. Zhou acknowledged. After that, he returned to the Lord's courtyard and prepared to upgrade it. Chapter 99 Upgrade Building. Military Force Situation. Zhou stood in front of the Lord's courtyard. A line of text appeared just as he received the 50 green bronze tier Aurora crystals. Do you want to upgrade the Lord's courtyard? Yes, he said. The next second, 80,000 units of basic materials, 500 green bronze tier mist cores, 3 origin crystals, and 2 green bronze tier territory tokens instantly disappeared. Boom! A golden light suddenly covered the entire Lord's wooden house. A moment later, the golden light dissipated. Boxinoviel. Com Zhou looked over. The area of the Lord's courtyard expanded again. At the same time, the entire Lord's courtyard became more exquisite and the courtyard became wider. A series of text notifications appeared. Congratulations, your Lord's courtyard has been upgraded to a green bronze tier advanced grade building. There is an additional study. Your territory has been upgraded to a green bronze tier advanced grade territory. Territory token durability increased to 100,000/100,000. Your territory has expanded to 15,000 m times 15,000 m times 3,000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. You have received upgrade rewards. Carpenter Shop Blueprint Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. Sundry Goods Shop Blueprint Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. Lord Talent Hint. The upper limit of the enemy lord's power that you can instigate to defect has been increased to White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade. Lord Talent Hint. Your monster ranches can be upgraded. Lord Talent Hint. Your mysterious caravan faction has increased. Jojo looked at the upgrade notification and could not help but nod in satisfaction. Especially after seeing the last 3 Lord Talent hints. He was even happier. As for the 2 Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade blueprints, he did not care much. In any case, Elder Zhao knew them. He could give them to Qiandu when Qiandu first came to Blazing Sun City from the Gate of Summoning. He was only a Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade architect. Recently, he had heard that Qiandu had contributed a lot by Elder Zhao's side. His architect level had already increased to Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade. He could give him these 2 Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade blueprints. As long as he could master it, he might be able to advance to a Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade architect. Then, he looked at the materials needed to upgrade the Lord's Courtyard to the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Construction upgrade: 50,000 units of wood, 50,000 units of fine sand, 50,000 units of metal, 50,000 units of stone, 1,000 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, 6 Origin Crystals, 3 Green Bronze Tier Territory Tokens. Jojo's eyes lit up when he saw the upgrade requirements. The upgrade requirements this time were not difficult. He did not lack basic materials. He had more than 11,000 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores now. The requirement of 2,000 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores was nothing to him. He also had 16 Origin Crystals in his hands. This also satisfied his needs. I only need to satisfy the requirements for the Green Bronze Tier Territory Token. I have a Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Territory Token in my hand now. I can upgrade my territory level to White Silver Tier Elementary Grade, as long as I get 2 more Green Bronze Tier Territory Tokens. When the time comes, a White Silver Tier Elementary Grade territory might trigger an announcement on the entire channel. My Glory of the Pioneer I will also be upgraded to Glory of the Pioneer too. Jojo thought. He was looking forward to it. 2 Green Bronze Tier Territory Tokens were not difficult for him to obtain now. After Wu Tu finished drawing the map of the barren Gobi Desert and Thorn Dune, he could lead the Blazing Sun Army to these 2 Black Iron Tier regions and eliminate all the Scarlet Lords there to obtain the territory token. He did not believe it. 2 Black Iron Tier regions. He could not gather 2 Green Bronze Tier territory tokens. Let's not think so far ahead. Let's pass tomorrow's Novice Lord test first. Jojo stopped thinking about it. Following which, he went to the Gate of Summoning and spent 20,000 units of basic materials and 100 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores to upgrade it. Congratulations, your Gate of Summoning has been upgraded to a Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade building. You can summon +6 subjects every day. You will definitely summon 5 professionals every day. Prompt. Under the influence of the race's unique title, Glory of the Pioneer I. The number of subjects you can summon every day has reached 66. You will definitely summon 7 professionals every day. And the professional levels of 2 of them will be the same as your territory level. Jojo nodded slightly. Now that the Gate of Summoning had leveled up, he was naturally very happy. However, he was no longer as excited as before. After all, he was no longer short of people. Then, he looked at the requirements to upgrade the Gate of Summoning. Construction upgrade: 8,000 units of wood, 8,000 units of fine sand, 8,000 units of metal, 8,000 units of stone, 800 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, territory level upgraded to White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. I have enough materials. As long as the Lord's Courtyard is upgraded, my Gate of Summoning can be upgraded immediately. Jojo thought. Then he sent someone to call Mugu and Zhengfugui over. He wanted to understand the situation of the Lord Talent after the territory was upgraded from the 2 of them. After Mugu advanced in the territory, His strength immediately increased to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. All his skills also increased from Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. He could already manage 6 monster ranches at the same time. After upgrading the monster ranches to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade, the upper limit of the number of monsters cultivated in each Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade monster ranch could also be increased from 1,000 to 1,250. Moreover, the upper limit of the monsters nurtured would also increase from Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou was aware of this. He asked Mugu to bring a group of soldiers and upgrade the 4 Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade monster ranches to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade before tomorrow morning. In this way, Mugu would be able to control 5,000 fog monsters the next day. It was also beneficial to protect his safety. If all 5,000 fog monsters died in battle tomorrow, he could directly loot their corpses on the spot and obtain loot from them to increase his combat strength. It would save the soldiers from attacking. After Mugu heard Zhou's instructions, he immediately accepted the order. As for Zheng Fugui's mysterious caravan, there were also 5 new members and 5 Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade carriages. At the same time, all their skills had been upgraded from Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. After Zhou understood the detailed increase in these 2 lord talents, he asked them to go back and busy themselves. Not long after the 2 of them left, "My lord, Bai Yi requests an audience." Bai Yi's voice came from outside. When Zhou heard this, he let Bai Yi in. "My lord, I'm here to report on the losses of the 3 battles today and the promotion of the soldiers," Bai Yi said respectfully. "Tell me." Zhou acknowledged. In the 3 battles today, a total of 3 Scarlet Lord territories were destroyed and more than 6,000 fog monsters were eliminated. We sent a total of 6,415 soldiers. After 3 battles, a total of 45 soldiers were sacrificed, 121 were seriously injured, and 354 were slightly injured. After these 3 battles, we have 1,542 Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Professionals, 641 Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Professionals, 86 Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Professionals, 18 Green Bronze Tier Intermediate Grade Professions, and I am the only Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Professional. In addition, I've just received 762 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Puteo soldiers recruited by my lord. In addition to the 1,000 soldiers you left in the desolate city, my lord, you already have 8,132 professionals under your command. Bai Yi still looked a little excited after she finished speaking. Zhou also had a smile on his face. He had 8,132 professionals after 7 days of development. If this speed of development reached the ears of the lords in the World Channel, countless people's jaws would drop. Chapter 100: The Era of the Lord's Alliance. Overlord Lord and Military Industry Lord. Zhou and Bai Yi chatted for a while more before letting Bai Yi go back and rest to prepare for the Novice Lord test tomorrow. After Bai Yi left, Zhou was the only one left in the room. "I've already done all that I can do. It all depends on the Novice Lord test tomorrow," he thought silently. At this moment, Zhou was neither anxious nor nervous. There was only calmness and composure and also a hint of anticipation. He opened the World Channel. Originally, he only wanted to see what the lords were doing. In the end, he raised his eyebrows after taking a few glances. Dragon Lady Lord. The Dragon Blood Alliance is officially established from today onwards. I welcome the Cerulean Planet Lords near the Dragon Crown Kingdom and the surrounding kingdoms to the Dragon Blood Alliance. Boxnovl. COM. Dragon Lady Lord. All Cerulean Planet Lords who join the Dragon Blood Alliance can receive the protection of the Dragon Blood Alliance in the future. If you encounter danger, you can also ask me and the other members of the Alliance for help. Undead Lord. The Undead Alliance is officially established from today onwards. I welcome the Cerulean Planet Lords near the Silent Kingdom and the surrounding kingdoms to the Undead Alliance. Overlord Lord. The Overlord Association is officially established from today onwards. If you want to join, you have to submit a fresh monster corpse as a membership fee. The lord who joins my overlord association will be protected by me in the future. Night Lord. The Night Council is officially established from today onwards. I welcome lords from the Glimmer Kingdom and the surrounding kingdoms. The lords who join the council can each obtain 10 Combat Spirit Knight class change slots. If you make outstanding contributions in the future, you will have a chance to obtain more Combat Spirit Knight class change slots. Military Industry Lord. The Cerulean Planet Military Industry Alliance is officially established from today onwards. All Cerulean Planet Lords are welcome to join. All military industry practitioners, technology industry practitioners, and related industry practitioners who join the Cerulean Planet Military Industry Alliance will receive corresponding benefits according to their abilities. I want to join the Dragon Blood Alliance and meet my goddess. I'm her fan. Big Boss Overlord. I've submitted the application. I've already sent you the monster flesh. At Military Industry Lord. I was once a weapons development engineer of the Chinese Defense Military Industry Group on the Cerulean Planet. What kind of treatment will I get if I join you? I used to be a mercenary in the United States of America in Africa. I know a little about weapon assembly and maintenance. Can I join? I've developed a phone in Huazhong University of Science and Technology. Can I join you? Military Industry Lord. Private chat. Wow, a weapons development engineer. More and more Cerulean Planet big shots have appeared after the military industry boss appeared. When will Big Boss Blazing Sun form an alliance? I want to be the first to join. In the future there will be more and more Lord alliances. The days when the Lord of the Blazing Sun reigns supreme alone are gone. That's right. The era of the Lord of the Blazing Sun has passed. It's the era of the Lords working together. One person can't do anything. What does the Lord's era have to do with us? Think about how to pass tomorrow's Novice Lord test. That's right. They're just big shots. We small lords have to rely on ourselves. I only have 20-odd professionals under me now. The highest level amongst them is of Green Bronze Tier Elementary grade. I wonder if I can survive tomorrow. I'm a little stronger than the previous poster but not much stronger. Tomorrow is the Novice Lord test. Can anyone save me? I don't want to die. If I don't become stronger before the countdown ends tomorrow morning, I'll give up my status as a lord and change my profession to an adventurer. Previous poster, bring me along. I'm a little unwilling but there's nothing I can do. Sigh. I didn't expect this. The original intention was just an act of weak lords banding together for strength. Now, it has actually become a good opportunity for powerful lords to form their own lord alliance. Zhou was a little surprised. He was not surprised at all that the Dragon Lady Lord had established the Dragon Blood Alliance. This big television star from the West had a huge desire to show off on the World Channel from the beginning. In addition, she had long revealed her epic tier lord talent. So she was the second most famous lord in the World Channel besides himself. The other party's intention to win over the hearts of the people was already obvious. Therefore, many lords of the World Channel had probably expected that she would establish the Dragon Blood Alliance today. The others had also formed an alliance, so much so that all kinds of alliances had appeared among the Cerulean Planet lords. Zhou did not expect this. What surprised Zhou the most was the appearance of two lords. The first was the Overlord Lord. According to his statement on the World Channel, the Overlord Lord had publicized the fact that he had a legendary tier lord talent today. He was also the first lord to publicize his legendary tier lord talent on the World Channel. Even though he did not announce what his lord talent was, his legendary tier lord talent alone had immediately caused his reputation to soar. He was no longer inferior to the Dragon Lady Lord, only inferior to him. Zhou immediately valued him. As the owner of a legendary tier lord talent himself, he knew all too well how terrifying a lord talent of this level was. It was no exaggeration to say that every legendary tier lord talent in the online novels on the Cerulean Planet could be used as the protagonist's cheat. There were examples like his 100% drop rate and Linger's Divine Herb Garden. Zhou naturally would not underestimate the Overlord Lord's legendary tier lord talent. As for the second lord, it was the Military Industry Lord. He was the only lord without a lord talent among all the famous lords. The reason why he was suddenly so famous was because he suddenly announced a deal this morning. A self-made submachine gun deal. He had a total of 10 self-made submachine guns on sale. It was said that this was made by the blacksmiths in the other party's territory, and the main creator was the military industry lord himself. According to the other cerulean planet lords, this submachine gun was the easiest and least costly to make in the history of cerulean planet's firearms. However, the fact that he and a few low-level blacksmiths could forge it in just 7 days was enough to prove his ability. Moreover, according to the military industry lord's own response, this was not the only firearm he knew how to make. He knew how to make many firearms and weapons. He even dabbled in some high-end weapons on the cerulean planet. These 10 submachine guns were just a catalyst. The reason why he issued this transaction was to attract more of his kind to join him through them. He wanted to recruit more military talents to restore the military technology of the cerulean planet on the high continent. This way, he could protect himself and he could use this to have the strength to resist the other lords and participate in the competition for the title of Lord of all races. This military industry lord is really capable. Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. If he could really realize his ambition and recreate the military technology of the cerulean planet on the high continent, and even forge nuclear weapons, this ability was comparable to an epic tier lord talent. This lord of all races competition. As expected, the more powerful opponents appear towards the end. This is only the 7th day. How fierce will the competition be in the future? Zhou was deep in thought. He had also seen what the others said about worrying about the novice lord test tomorrow. Today is the last day. I can sell another wave of goods. I'll sell something special this time, so that the lords on the World Channel would not say that I only know how to sell monster flesh and weapons and equipment. Zhou immediately opened the exchange thinking of this. Chapter 101 Auction. Zhou looked at the exchange and did not set the transaction content immediately. Instead, he turned on the auction function of the exchange. Through the auction function, as long as he sold goods that others desired, he could sell the goods he auctioned at a premium and obtain more profits. Then, he began to prepare to auction the goods. Among them were 1,000 books of sandification, Black Iron Tier Elementary, Intermediate and Advanced Grade. 1,000 copies of Sandman Summoning Books, Black Iron Tier Elementary and Intermediate Grade. 500 Sandman Elite Summoning Books, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 500 books of Sand Stealth, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 500 copies of Summoning Wild Sand, Black Iron Tier Elementary, Intermediate and Advanced Grade. 500 Black Scorpion Poison Crossbow, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 20 Antidote Formulas, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. He stopped after setting this up and nodded slightly looking at these auction items. These auction items had 2 characteristics. Box in OVL. COM. Firstly, there were many of them in his hands and they were not of much use in the short term. The soldiers would not be able to exchange them all in the short term. Secondly, the monster ranches could produce these goods every day. He could save them up again after a while even if it was sold out. Other skills such as swimming mastery, water spear technique, and deep water stealth that he had obtained today were things that would be depleted. Zhou did not intend to sell them before he had other items to replace them. Then he prepared to move on. However, he added another 1,000 copies of the Sword Shield Soldier Class Change Certificates, 1,000 copies of the Poison Crossbow Soldier Class Change Certificates, and 1,000 copies of the Puteo Soldier's Class Change Certificates after hesitating. Time to sell these things. Zhou lamented. He would definitely not sell these class change certificates if it was when he was short of people in the past. He would think of a way to move non-professional subjects into Blazing Sun City, and use these class change certificates to mass-produce professional soldiers after all. However, the population of his territory had already reached the upper limit. Moreover, the soldiers recruited through the recruitment books every day were enough for him for a while. Under such circumstances, these 3 class change certificates seemed a little redundant and useless. Since that was the case, he might as well sell a portion of it. There's no profit in the marketplace for low-level monster meat now. My soldiers and I do not even have enough high-level monster meat for ourselves. In the future, I'll use the class change certificates to replace monster meat and sell it to other lords. The drop rate is so low. It shouldn't be too much for me to raise the price, right? Zhou pondered for a while before he made the decision. He then set the starting price slot in auction time for each item. In the end, he also set up the contents of the hidden auction. He would announce what he wanted to auction 2 hours later, when the auction officially began. Then he announced the auction. There's still 1 hour, 59 minutes and 59 seconds before the auction begins. Time was ticking away. Then he opened the World Channel. After some thought, he started typing. Lord of the Blazing Sun, Glory of the Pioneer I will hold an online auction at the marketplace in 2 hours. This online auction will auction a large number of valuable goods, all of which can help the lords increase the probability of passing the Novice Lord test. Lord of the Blazing Sun, Glory of the Pioneer I, don't be in a hurry to leave after the auction ends. I will also give 10 lucky gifts to random 10 lucky auctioneers. You can participate in the lucky draw as long as you participate in the auction and buy something. Lord of the Blazing Sun, Glory of the Pioneer I. Lastly, I hope that all the lords can pass tomorrow's Novice Lord test. Survive even if you cannot pass the test. Lord of the Blazing Sun, Glory of the Pioneer I am heading off. See you in 2 hours. The chat flooded Zhou's messages after he sent them. However, many lords still saw it. These lords spread the news like wildfire. More and more lords got to know about Zhou's auction coupled with the news of the auction at the marketplace. The World Channel was also in a heated discussion. This is the first time I've seen Big Boss Blazing Sun say so many words. I have to quickly take a screenshot to commemorate. I am not rereading Big Boss Blazing Sun's messages again. Sundra emoji. I see an onset comment every time I refresh the page. I'm hugging Big Brother Blazing Sun's thigh. I saw Big Boss Blazing Sun's auction. Why are all the auction items hidden? Isn't this just tantalizing everyone to have a look? Can you tell me what the lucky gift is? Big Boss Blazing Sun. The Dragon Lady Lord has already established the Dragon Blood Alliance. You should build one too. Can I reserve a seat in the Lord Alliance created by the Lord of the Blazing Sun? Fuck. Auction. I've been blacklisted. Can I participate in the auction? What do you think? Fortunately, I'm not a keyboard warrior on the World Channel. There are still 2 hours left. It's so unbearable. I smell a profiteer. Zhou took a few glances and stopped. With his reputation, 2 hours was enough for these lords to inform the other lords that he was holding an auction. He turned off the World Channel and thought about what else he had not done. I almost forgot to try the dark water mystic technique. Zhou quickly thought of this and went to the bathtub in the bathroom and filled it with warm water. He took off his clothes and circulated the dark water mystic technique while stepping into the bathtub. Right on the heels of that, his entire body submerged into the water. Please do not imitate if you do not have the dark water mystic technique. In the beginning, he felt very uncomfortable and subconsciously wanted to hold his breath. He always wanted to pop his head out of the bathtub to breathe. However, he realized that even if he held his breath and shut his mouth, he did not feel suffocated in the water. This was because his skin seemed to have a breathing function when he circulated the dark water mystic technique, allowing him to absorb the oxygen in the water and staying in the water for a long time. Moreover, when he circulated the dark water mystic technique, he could still feel wisps of cool energy seeping into his body from the surrounding water, strengthening his physique and increasing the total amount of promotion energy in his body. At the same time, the green bronze tier intermediate grade skill Deep Water Heal also quietly took effect. Wisps of water elemental energy surged into his body, repairing some minor injuries. These minor injuries were usually not noticeable. However, it would also produce serious injuries over time if it accumulated too much. At this moment, the Deep Water Heal was slowly removing this potential damage and helping him resolve future hidden dangers. In the following period of time, under the dual effects of the Dark Water Mystic Technique and Deep Water Heal, Zhou felt as comfortable as if he was having a massage. An hour and a half later, Zhou walked out of the bathtub. He felt that he was far from the limit that he could breathe underwater, but the auction was about to start in half an hour, so he came out early. He changed into a new set of clothes and returned to the living room after wiping his body. A voice came from outside. "I've something to report, my lord." Zhang Kaishan/Zhang Dahu requests an audience. Their voices came from outside. Zhou was stunned. Then he let the two of them in. I've something to report, my lord. We've already sold all of Kunt's businesses. After Zhang Kaishan and Zhang Dahu entered, they first greeted Zhou before immediately reporting respectfully. Chapter 102 Cerulean Planet Lord's Banquet. Astonishing auction revenue. Already? How's the sale? Zhou was a little surprised and asked. We sold Kunt's slave source route, his customer source, the slaves of the people of foreign races, and other permanent residences to other slave vendors. In addition, there are some assets in Fish Spring Town and the wealth of the other bases. After exchanging all of them for high-level mist cores, we obtained a total of 20 yellow gold tier mist cores. Also, we did as you requested and removed all human slaves from slavery, the slave contracts in their bodies, and let them go. However, there are still more than 2,000 slaves who are unwilling to leave. Or rather, they have no place to go. We also followed your request and brought them back to Desolate City, making them subjects of Desolate City. They are very well behaved. Zhang Kaishan said respectfully. Then he solemnly took out a small cloth bag and placed it in front of Zhou. Zhou took it and opened it. Box in OVL. COM inside were 20 yellow gold tier mist cores. Zhou nodded slightly. He had indeed instructed them this way before he left Desolate City. It seemed that these two people were quite capable. They were especially efficient. It only took a day to sell Kunt's organization. This was not something an ordinary person could do. Well done. Are there any talents among these 2,000 people? Zhou asked. There are more than 50 black iron tier and green bronze tier life professionals. Zhang Kaishan said respectfully. They will stay in your Desolate City for the time being. Your Desolate City will be of great use soon. Run the place well now. In the future, there will be times where you can showcase your talents, he said. Zhang Kaishan and Zhang Dahu were a little excited. Was he putting them in an important position? Yes, my lord. The two of them said respectfully and led the way. Zhou acknowledged. Then he suddenly thought of a problem. Will tomorrow's Novice Lord test affect the subsidiary territory of Desolate City? He frowned as he thought. At this moment, a line of golden words suddenly appeared in front of him. Novice Lord Special Notification. The Novice Lord test is only targeted at the Lord's initial territory. Zhou heaved a sigh of relief. That's good. He would not be able to deploy soldiers if the Novice Lord test targeted both territories at the same time. Zhou did not have so many worries if it was only targeted at Blazing Sun City. It was fine as long as he waited for the test in Blazing Sun City. After that, Zhou chatted with the two of them about the future arrangements of Desolate City, before letting them return. As for the 1,000 soldiers in Desolate City, he had no intention of transferring them here. He had already made sufficient preparations for the Novice Lord test. It would not be very useful even if these 1,000 soldiers were transferred back here. They might as well stay in Desolate City and guard his subsidiary territory. More than 15 minutes later, Zhou opened the marketplace and realized that the auction was about to officially begin in a minute. More than a minute later, the auction officially began. At the same time, a line of text appeared in front of all the lords of Cerulean Planet who were paying attention to this auction. Do you wish to participate in the Lord of the Blazing Suns auction? Yes. No, most of the lords on Cerulean Planet chose yes. Then they entered a virtual auction room. In 3 minutes, the auction will officially begin. Please wait patiently. On the upper right corner of the auction room interface, there was also the number of people online at the same time. At this time, the number of people online was rapidly increasing. Number of people online: 545,411,154. Number of people online: 854,865,245. Number of people online: 2,275,413,001. Number of people online: 3,515,727,541. When the 3-minute preparation time ended, number of people online: 5,645,127,788. Everyone who saw this number was stunned. Our cerulean planet only has a total population of 2 billion, right? Excluding the infants and elderly, there are only more than 8 billion lords, right? Oh my god. More than half of the cerulean planet lords have come to participate in the Lord of the Blazing Suns auction. Big Boss Blazing Sun's face is really big. This should be the first big event for the human lords of cerulean planet, right? Witnessing history. Witnessing history +1. Witnessing history plus 10,010. Witnessing history plus 10,086. Zhou also saw the number of lords. He clicked his tongue. However, he did not feel nervous or guilty because of this. At this stage, he felt that the things he took out were of good quality. At the very least, he would not lose face in front of these 6 billion auctioneers. It was just that the number of items was too little compared to the huge number of auctioneers. However, Zhou knew that he had no choice. How could a lord like him satisfy the auction requirements of all the lords of cerulean planet? This auction depends on who is faster and offers a higher price, he thought with emotion. At the same time, as the auction officially began, the auction items set up by Zhou also appeared in front of all the lords. So many skill books. There are also potion formulas. Sword Shield Soldier Class Change Certificates. Pudeo Soldiers Class Change Certificates. Poison Crossbow Soldier Class Change Certificates. There's such a thing as a class change certificate? This is my first time hearing about the class change certificate. Me too. Has Big Boss Blazing Sun already made contact with some large faction? Otherwise, why would there be so many class change certificates? Could it be the spoils of war of the fog monster? I heard that there are some special monsters that have a chance of dropping this class change certificate, but the probability is ridiculously low. I've only seen it 2 or 3 times in the marketplace. Forget it. The Mist Corps would definitely drop one item at a time after defeating the fog monsters. It is nearly impossible for other items to drop. These class change certificates must have been obtained by the Lord of the Blazing Sun from a local faction. Aren't monsters only able to drop Mist Cores? Everyone stay away from this unlucky guy. Stop talking nonsense. The auction has begun. I'm here for a lucky gift. Just as the lords were discussing, the first batch of items had also appeared. Information on the items auctioned were as follows. Name: Sandification Skill Book, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade, X10 Starting Bid, 1,000 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. Current auction price: none. Bidding time: 1 minute. Current status: auction in progress. The other 9 groups also had the same 10 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade skill books, Sandification. The lords immediately scrambled to bid when they saw the official auction begin. A minute later, the auction ended. The condition of the items immediately changed. Name: Sandification Skill Book, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade, X10 Starting Bid, 1,000 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. Current bidding price: 4,300 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. Bidding time: 1 minute. Current status: auction over. The other 9 sandification skills were also sold at a price. Zhou did some calculations and could not help but click his tongue. Just these 100 low-grade Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade skill books, Sandification, had brought him 42,000 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. It could be exchanged for 42 Yellow Gold Tier Mist Cores. This ordinary Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Sandification skill book had raised its value to a level that did not belong to it. Should he just auction them every day in the future? Zhou could not help but think. However, he quickly dismissed this idea. That which is rare is dear. The reason why it could be sold for such a high price this time was mainly because this was the first auction. Moreover, tomorrow was the Novice Lord test. Under such circumstances, the lords no longer cared about the price in order to increase their strength. That was why they were auctioned at such a high price. It would be difficult to auction for such a price again when there was no such good opportunity in the future. If he insisted on holding the auction, it would also give people the impression that he was insatiable. The gains would not make up for the losses. Zhou glanced at the auctioneer of the first set of goods. He realized that there was a name called Seven-Leaf Clover Lord Alliance written on the auctioneer column. So it was bought by the Lord Alliance. No wonder they could offer so many mist cores. Zhou came to a realization. Then he looked at the names of the other auctioneers. They realized that the auctioneers' names they used were the names of certain alliances. Zhou was deep in thought. The establishment of the Lord Alliance indirectly increased the purchasing power of these lords unexpectedly. This was naturally a good thing for him. After that, he continued to watch the auction. An hour and a half later, the auction officially ended. All 7,020 items were sold out. Zhou looked backstage and his eyes immediately widened. Wealth earned from the auction: 11,163,200 black iron tier mist cores. Oh my fucking god, he was completely stunned. Chapter 103 Lucky Gift. Zhongli's Gift. Zhou was shocked. There were so many black iron tier mist cores. If they were all exchanged for higher level mist cores, it was enough to convert to 1,116 white platinum tier mist cores. He remembered the last time he talked to Elder Zhao about building a high-level building. Elder Zhao said that if he wanted to build a high-level building, he had to have a high-level mist core. This made him, who was short of funds at that time, dispel his thoughts. However, now that there were so many mist cores, he could at least build a few white platinum tier lifestyle structures. Zhou could not help but open the auction record. He might have watched the entire auction, however, there were more than 7,000 items being auctioned. He did not notice which items had been sold for a high price. He had found the main items that had sold for the most black iron tier mist cores. It was the 3,000 class change certificates. The initial auction price that Zhou had set for the Sword Shield Soldier class change certificate and Puteo Soldier's class change certificate was 500 black iron tier mist cores. In the end, the auctioneers forcefully raised their price to about 2,000 black iron tier mist cores. Boxin OVL. Therefore, the 2,000 basic military profession change certificates alone sold more than 4 million black iron tier mist cores. As for the Poison Crossbow Soldier class change certificate, it was a low-level class change certificate and a long-range soldier. Its starting price was 1,000 black iron tier mist cores. After a round of bidding, it directly became 4,000 black iron tier mist cores. 1,000 Poison Crossbow Soldier class change certificate became another income of more than 4 million black iron tier mist cores. Selling the class change certificates is much more profitable than selling monster flesh. Zhou sighed. Actually, thinking about it, the reason why it could be sold for such a high price was not only because the auction price had been raised. The class change certificate's advantage was also very important. A class change certificate could not only allow an ordinary person to directly become a black iron tier elementary grade soldier profession, but it would also give them a set of corresponding soldier standard equipment and EXP after all. If they nurtured the soldiers well, it was not impossible for them to become the pillar of the territory in the future. It was also a commodity with great investment prospects. Coupled with the survival pressure of the novice lord test, it was not strange for them to be sold for such a high price. Zhou looked at how many job change books he had. In the end, he realized that he still had 1,854 copies of the Sword Shield Soldier class change certificates, 1,010 copies of the Puteo Soldier's class change certificates, and 2,023 copies of the Poison Crossbow Soldier class change certificates. Moreover, the monster ranches would continuously increase their numbers in the future. He'll sell some every day from now on. Zhou was satisfied. The auction was not over yet. The lords who were still in the auction room were all talking about letting Zhou choose the lucky auctioneer to send the lucky gift. Zhou did not hesitate. He started typing. Lord of the Blazing Sun, everyone don't be anxious. Now, I would like to invite all the auctioneers who have won the auction item to post on the public screen. The Lord of the Blazing Sun is so handsome. I will set the rules so that the auctioneers can post comments. Then I will turn on the screenshot of the live broadcast. The 10 auctioneers who are in the screenshot will receive 10 lucky gifts. Many lords immediately spoke. You're abusing your power for personal gain, right? I didn't expect you to be someone like that, Lord of the Blazing Sun. I thought that you would be a serious iceberg idol in reality, even though you usually don't speak. Men may not be handsome, But they must not be flirtatious, dog head. Show your face in the live stream. That's all I'm saying. Humph. Don't even think about insulting my noble character with your dirty lucky gift. The Lord spoke continuously. When Zhou saw these words, his expression did not change. He had no intention of changing his mind. I'm actually very handsome. Lord of the Blazing Sun. I will start to screenshot 10 seconds after I start the live stream. With that, he immediately activated the live stream function. However, he was not on the live stream. Instead, it was aimed at public chat. 10 seconds later, Lord of the Blazing Sun. Screenshot started. As soon as he finished speaking, a large number of Lord posts immediately appeared and were refreshed at an extremely fast speed. The Lord of the Blazing Sun is so handsome. The Lord of the Blazing Sun is so handsome. The Lord of the Blazing Sun is so handsome. The Lord of the Blazing Sun is so handsome. 10 seconds later, the live broadcast screenshot was successful. Zhou glanced at the titles of the lords. Then he raised his eyebrows. This was because he saw Dragon Lady Lord among them. She's at my auction too? Zhou smiled. He didn't care. From top to bottom he found 10 auctioneers who had won the auction, including Dragon Lady Lord. Then, he announced them on the public chat. Lord of the Blazing Sun. These 10 lucky auctioneers, remember to add me as a friend later. I will open the friend privileges for you and send you the lucky gifts. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Finally, I thank everyone for being willing to participate in this auction despite your busy schedules. I wish everyone a smooth passing of the Novice Lord test tomorrow. With that, he lifted the restriction that only the auctioneer could speak. The lords commented one after another. I won. I won. I didn't get it. What a pity. Lords who have received lucky gifts, can you stream the gifts later? Who sent the post? You're so good at judging people. The Dragon Lady Lord is also among the 10. Ha 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 ha, this is too dramatic. It's hard to say that it's not shady, dog head. Big Boss Blazing Sun. Please insult me with gifts in the future. Previous poster. Where's your noble personality? Abandoned. How can a personality be more fragrant than a gift? Dog head. 10 minutes later. The auction room closed automatically. This time, the auction that had more than 5 billion lords participating officially ended. At the same time, the 10 auctioneers also added Zhou as a friend. Zhou did as he said and gave them 10 lucky red packets. In each lucky red packet, Zhou placed a set of all the auction items for this auction, but there was only one of each kind. Finally, he added a Mechanostrider, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. It was not on the auction list. It could be considered a small Easter egg prepared by Zhou. At this moment, the Dragon Lady Lord sent him a message. Dragon Lady Lord, it's not easy to add you as a friend. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Isn't it the same for others to add you as a friend? Laughing, Dragon Lady Lord was speechless. She had indeed turned off the friend request function. Otherwise, she would be pestered to death by the friend requests she received every day. Then she sent another message. Dragon Lady Lord. How about we work together? Dragon Lady Lord. I have high-end combat power like the Wyvern. The reason why you are so strong should be because you have many human soldiers using your many class change certificates under you and some other advantages. Dragon Lady Lord. If you and I work together, we will be able to exchange what we need. There is a high chance that we will become Lord of all races in the future. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Then turn against each other and fight to the death for the position of the last Lord of all races. Lord of the Blazing Sun. I don't want to do such a thing. Besides, being strong among the lords of Cerulean Planet doesn't mean that we are as strong as when facing the lords of myriad races. There are countless lords of the myriad races who are stronger than us humans. Even if you and I really join forces, the possibility of us getting close to the position of Lord of all races isn't high. Dragon Lady Lord. You're right, but times have changed. Even if you're very strong now, you won't be able to walk far alone in the future. Lord of the Blazing Sun. My abilities are limited. I can't work with others, nor do I have the ability to manage an entire alliance like you. All I can do is to do my best to develop my territory. Dragon Lady Lord did not say anything else. A moment later, She quietly disappeared from Zhou's friend list. People on different paths do not work together. Since they could not cooperate, they were opponents. There was no need for them to be friends. Zhou watched as his friend disappeared and fell silent. He was not silent because he had lost his good friend, Dragon Lady Lord. He was silent because of himself. He had lived 2 lives. There were still some things that had not changed even though his mentality had improved a lot. For example, he did not cultivate any organization management skills and his social skills were average. He would not take the initiative to make friends with others and expand his connections. His favorite pastime was to stay in his own world and do what he wanted. The reason why he was not like her, who raised her banner and called for the establishment of a Lord Alliance. The most important reason was indeed that he wanted to develop his territory with the 100% drop rate as the core of the legendary tier Lord talent. This was indeed the fastest way for his territory to develop currently. If he still had to establish the Lord Alliance under such circumstances and manage other lords, it would definitely take up his energy and slow down the development of his territory. Moreover, with the Lord function of the marketplace, establishing the Lord Alliance was actually not of much help to him. Another reason was that he was not good at managing people. If he really gathered a group of lords around him, the final outcome might be the other lords would complain about him if their territories did not develop well. This would harm both himself and others. He might as well focus on managing himself well instead. At this thought, Zhou suddenly realized that something was wrong with his mentality. It's okay. I'm already a lord of a territory. In the future, there will be many places to hone my managerial skills. It won't be too late to form the Lord Alliance when I have enough management EXP in the future. Zhou thought. He was not a perfect lord, but he would work hard to make himself a near-perfect lord. When he recovered from this state of mind, Zhou thought for a moment and opened Linger's chat. He wrapped a red packet and placed a set of lucky gifts inside. Then he typed in the chat to her. Lord of the Blazing Sun. A lord's own strength cannot be underestimated even though professions are very important. Otherwise it will be over if an assassin comes and takes your head. No matter how many soldiers there are, they won't be able to save you. Lord of the Blazing Sun. You should learn all these skills in case of emergencies. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Of course, the main reason is that your big brother is in a good mood, so I gave you this red packet. Spiritual Herb Territory. Linger looked at the red packet sent by her brother with a blank expression. Did he send this just because he was in a good mood? She sent a message to Zhou. Thank you, big brother. Then she opened the world channel. Spiritual Medicine Lord. How does it feel to have a big brother who gives little sister red packets whenever he is happy? It attracted a wave of envious and jealous replies. Linger laughed. At the same time, Blazing Sun City. My lord. Baoxiuer requests an audience. Baoxiuer's voice came from outside the door. Zhou was stunned. Then he let her in. After Baoxiuer entered, she handed a package to Zhou with both hands. My lord. My teacher said that tomorrow is a critical day for my lord. She needs to take care of Teacher Li in Fish Spring Town, so it's not convenient for her to come over. But she asked me to give these to your lordship. She said you will need it tomorrow. She said. Zhou took it curiously. Chapter 104 New Wind Ceremony. The Influence of the Mysterious Merchant. Zhou opened the package and took out a set of clothes. The clothes were a mixture of sky blue and white. The surface was smooth to the touch, and there was a faint cooling feeling, as if wisps of wind were blowing on the surface of the clothes. However, it felt warm to the touch. It looked like an aristocratic outfit. Be it the patterns, decorations, or craftsmanship, it had an impeccable feeling. Zhou looked at it. A text notification appeared. Outfit name. New Wind Ceremony. Outfit grade. Green Bronze Tier Intermediate grade. Outfit effect 1. New Wind Protection. The surface of the New Wind Ceremony is engraved with the New Wind Defense engraving. It can defend against Green Bronze Tier physical and energy damage from the outside world. It can also play a certain defensive role against White Silver Tier physical and energy damage. Outfit effect 2. Beauty of the Ceremony. The New Wind Ceremony will give the wearer a different kind of aristocratic charm. All living beings who see the wearer will feel that the wearer is from an extraordinary background and express a certain amount of respect. Outfit effect 3 New Wind. The wearer can inject energy into the new wind engravings of the New Wind ceremony. From there, the wearer can control the power of the wind and fly for a short period of time. Current outfit completeness. 5/5 box in OVL. COM introduction. A unique piece of equipment for New Wind's tailoring skills. It was inherited from a certain extinct country. I can actually fly? Zhou eyes lit up. Flying would allow him to avoid many dangers. If he could fly without Nazario, then his safety in tomorrow's Novice Lord test could indeed be greatly improved. And until now, he didn't have formal attire that he could wear as a lord. This outfit with the characteristics of beauty of the ceremony could be used as his suit. As for New Wind's protection, it was needless to say. Its defensive effect had already surpassed many green bronze tier intermediate grade defensive equipment. Even if Zhou advanced to the white silver tier in the future, he could still wear this outfit. This outfit is very useful to me. I will thank teacher Zhongli personally after everything is over tomorrow. Zhou looked at Bao Xiu'er and said, My lord, you're welcome. It's good that it's useful to my lord. Bao Xiu'er smiled. Zhou acknowledged. Then the two of them chatted for a while before Bao Xiu'er left. A moment later, Zhang Fugui came to tell Zhou that he had already received all the orders and goods from the subjects and was preparing to go to Fish Spring Town, which was the nearest to this place. When Zhou heard this, he felt that he had nothing to do, so he sent them outside Blazing Sun City. Be careful. Zhou reminded Zhang Fugui and the others. Rest assured, my lord. Our mysterious caravan has the supreme blessing of the supreme will. We will be absolutely safe as long as we are still walking on this high continent. Zhang Fugui said with a smile. Zhou did not say anything else. He nodded and watched them leave. On the main road, Zhang Fugui led the other 27 people and 18 carriages on the road. At this moment, a mysterious black mist appeared on their bodies. This mysterious black fog enveloped their bodies and carriages. A moment later, the mysterious black mist dissipated. This group of merchants that looked ordinary before had already undergone a huge change. Zhang Fugui and the other 28 people were all wearing black cloaks with mysterious and noble purple patterns engraved on them. If anyone could see their faces under their cloaks, they would find out that the human bodies were no longer in their cloaks. Instead, a mist that was like the starry sky was supporting their cloaks. There were 2 golden spots in the starry mist. Like eyes. They were like 2 stars staring at a distant road. The 18 carriages also changed. The eyes of the 18 horses turned golden, and their skin turned black. One could vaguely see various stars on their skin. The carriages they were pulling had also become black and purple carriages. The cushions used to cover the goods had also become black and purple cushions. A moment later, their team arrived at Fish Spring Town. When the soldiers at the city gate saw them, they subconsciously wanted to pick up their arms and question who these mysteriously dressed people were. However, an indescribable force made them give up on this thought. It also made them understand the identity of this group of people. The mysterious caravan. It was the most mysterious vendor faction in the Supreme Continent. They do not belong to any organization. Even the High and Mighty Divine Kingdom factions could not take the initiative to find their whereabouts. This group of vendors was not here for war, power, or plunder. They had only one purpose. That was to complete their transaction. So, they could not be stopped. A moment later, Zhang Bowen arrived soon after receiving the news. When he arrived, the first thing he saw was the mysterious caravan that had already put out the goods and was trading with the subjects of Fish Spring Town. The eyes that flashed like stars made the experienced mayor break out in cold sweat with just a glance. However, after recalling the legend of the mysterious caravan, he calmed down again. As long as I don't provoke them, I'm safe. I didn't expect. The most mysterious vendor faction in the High Continent will actually appear here one day. I have to report this to His Majesty. Zhang Bowen looked at them thoughtfully. At this moment Wang Lai, the patrol captain of Fish Spring Town, walked over quickly. Mayor. It's a little strange. I boldly went over to take a look just now. I realized that the goods they sell are all very common goods. Even if we don't do anything, the subjects and merchants will be able to consume all of their transactions. What should we do? Are we just going to watch? He asked. It's nothing strange. That's how the mysterious merchant group is. They sell everything. From the most common grain to divine artifacts rare enough for God's spirits to fight over. It's normal for them to sell anything. This group of mysterious merchant has been recorded by the life forms of the world ever since there was a written historical record in the High Continent. Countless years have passed. The divine kingdoms recorded in history have disappeared batch after batch. They're still there. We don't have to do anything. They will leave on their own after they sell the items they trade or discover that we don't have anything worth trading here. Don't provoke them. Don't ever provoke them. Otherwise, don't blame me for not reminding you if there are any consequences. Zhang Bowen reminded over and over again. Yes. Wang Lai broke out in cold sweat from Zhang Bowen's warning and hurriedly agreed. After that, they did not leave. Instead, they stood on the spot and looked at the group of mysterious merchant curiously. This group of people who could leave behind all kinds of legendary tier legends for countless years. Ordinary people might not even encounter it once in their lives. Now that there was this opportunity, they naturally had to take a few more glances. In the future, they would have the right to brag to others. At the same time, the news of the appearance of the mysterious merchant in the Aurora Kingdom's fish spring town also began to spread around at an astonishing speed. Chapter 105 New Changes to the City Wall. Zhou Source of Confidence. Elven Empire Alanos. In the Imperial Palace. The mysterious merchant appeared near that human lord's territory? After hearing the report from Molt the astrologer, the original Elven Empress Elizariel frowned slightly. The mysterious merchant. Perhaps the kingdom-level forces didn't have a deep understanding of this group of mysterious merchant. However, as the leader of an empire-level faction, she knew much more than other life forms. She remembered it very clearly. A long time ago, there was a Divine Kingdom faction called Moon Hunt that wanted to obtain an incomplete Master God weapon, sold by the mysterious merchant. However, they did not have enough capital to buy it, so they became greedy and changed it to daylight robbery. In the end, not only did the daylight robbery fail, the mysterious merchant was also unharmed. Boxinoviel. Com. And on the same day, a huge star without life flew over from the starry sky and directly shattered Moon Hunt's Divine Kingdom. Moon Hunt's true god died in the Divine Kingdom. Not long after, its Divine Kingdom faction had also disappeared. No other force dared to attack the mysterious merchant since then. The group of mysterious merchant had also become one of the taboos that everyone knew. However, the living beings of the High Continent also understood the temper of this group of vendors. They could not be bothered to attack other factions as long as the others did not take the initiative to provoke them. It was as if they existed specifically for trade. What do they sell? Elizariel asked. They're all very ordinary goods. Molt said. Then don't worry about them. Oh yes. How's the human lord with the second-generation Bloodfire Arrow Elf? Elizariel asked. He's doing great. He should be one of the strongest amongst his race. Tomorrow is the Novice Lord test arranged by the Supreme Will for them. As long as he doesn't have a death wish, it shouldn't be difficult to pass the test. Molt said respectfully. Keep the elves watching them. When his lord faction is destroyed, protect the second-generation Bloodfire Arrow Elf and bring her back. Elizariel said indifferently. Ever since the Void Mass concealed Zhou's information and rendered divination useless, they had specially paid a price to teleport some elves who were doing intelligence work to the vicinity of Blazing Sun City, in order to continue obtaining information about Zhou and the others. They did not ask for too much information. As long as they could obtain some basic information and confirm whether this human lord was dead or alive, as well as ensure the safety of the second-generation Bloodfire Arrow Elf, it would be fine. This way, even the Void Mass could not stop them. A moment later, Molt took her leave. Come out. Elizariel said indifferently. As soon as she finished speaking, an elf with long fiery red hair and a fire mark at the corner of her eyes walked out from behind in embarrassment. It was the first-generation Bloodfire Arrow Elf, Nadia. She had already been revived. Your Majesty, she said respectfully and carefully. You heard her. The human lord you care about isn't dangerous, and is doing well. He has a high chance of passing the Supreme Will's Novice Lord test. Don't let him distract you. Don't forget, The Empire paid a huge price to revive you from the river of time. Everything you have now was given to you by the Empire. What you need to do now is to focus on receiving the Empire's nurturing and grow as quickly as possible. We need you to fight for the Elven Empire as soon as possible. Elizareel stared at her. This subordinate has a wish to fulfill. As long as this wish is fulfilled, I'm willing to fight for the Empire my entire life until my death. Nadia suddenly knelt down and said, "What is your wish?" Elizareel asked. This subordinate wants to see the Lord of the Blazing Sun pass the Novice Lord test with my own eyes. Nadia whispered. I remember that you met him a few times just because of the hero inheritance, right? You've only revived today. Why isn't your heir the first thing that you are bothered about after you were resurrected? Why are you so concerned about that human lord? Elizareel said indifferently. Nadia remained silent. A few seconds later, she replied, "Before I came back to life, my mark of fate has been drifting in the river of time. I appeared in front of the Lord of the Blazing Sun because of the time ruins. At that time I only had memories before I died. There. I've experienced the destruction of Undra again and again. The Lord of the Blazing Sun wiped this subordinate's tears and told me that I had already done very well. He had already helped me save all the members of the Guardian team. Every time he entered the time ruins, he'd do it to me. So, I just want to see him in reality. That's all," Nadia said. Elizareel didn't say anything. A moment later, "Remember what you said," she said. "Thank you, Your Majesty." Nadia was pleasantly surprised. Aurora Kingdom. Royal Palace. In a study room, the current king of the Aurora Kingdom, Li Yuangan, was looking at the memorial in his hand. His hair was already white after being the king for 50 to 60 years. However, his eyes were bright, steady and powerful. An imposing aura emanated from his body. Anyone who saw such an old man would feel that he could govern the Aurora Kingdom for another 50 years. A moment later, he put down the memorial. The Lord of the Blazing Sun. He actually unified a Black Iron Tier area in just 7 days. There seems to be a hero beside him. Even Zheng Yuanqi went to his place. I think Zhao Changshu is with him too. Wu Xian seems to have run over to him too. The younger generation will surpass us in time. Li Yuangan lamented. What should I reward him with? If he wants Aurora Crystals, we can give him the authority to trade Aurora Crystals. But the reward alone doesn't seem to accord him the due respect. He looked thoughtful. At this moment, the waiter outside the door brought in another memorial. Your Majesty. An urgent message from Fish Spring Town. The attendant said respectfully. Li Yuangan took the memorial. He opened it and raised his eyebrows. The mysterious merchant has appeared in Fish Spring Town? Fortunately, they didn't sell anything good. Otherwise, my tiny Aurora Kingdom won't be able to withstand the torment of external forces. He breathed a sigh of relief. The goods sold by the mysterious merchant. If they had good commodities, it would definitely attract the competition of experts from all over. That was because to experts it was their opportunity. As for the local lords, that would be a disaster. The local lords could not afford to offend any one of these experts after all. After these experts left, what was left for the local lords was most likely a mess. He came back to his senses. He thought of the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Tomorrow is their Novice Lord test. Let's see how far he can go. If he can perform very well in the Novice Lord test, in the future Lord of all Races contest, my Aurora Kingdom might be able to help him advance further. Li Yuangan was deep in thought. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, the sky had already darkened. Blazing Sun City. In the Lord's courtyard. In the bathtub in the bathroom. Zhou, who had taken off all his clothes, was lying quietly in the bathtub, circulating the dark water mystic technique to increase his strength. A moment later, feeling that he had reached the limit of his diving time, he came out of the bathtub. After drying his body, Zhou put on his clothes and sat down in the living room. Even though the dark water mystic technique can allow one to obtain promotion energy without killing, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the promotion energy I need in my body. It's far inferior to thousands of soldiers killing together and giving me more promotion energy. Under such circumstances, I can obtain higher-level martial arts manuals to increase my efficiency in obtaining promotion energy. Or I can only be patient and rely on accumulation to obtain promotion energy. Zhou thought to himself. The dark water mystic technique was not bad. However, it would probably take a long time if he wanted to rely on it to advance his realm. Nonetheless, he did not lose his patience. He had nothing to do in the territory. He just had to practice slowly. In any case, it would not affect the promotion energy that the soldiers obtained from killing. He would take it as earning extra income from the promotion energy. This moment, my lord, I, Zhao Changshu, have something to report. The wall has been completed. Zhao Changshu's happy voice came from outside. Zhou's eyes lit up. He immediately walked out of the lord's courtyard and came to the city wall with Zhao Changshu. He looked at the city wall. At this moment, the sand crystal city wall was very different from the previous one. The most obvious change was, in the past, the sand crystal city wall was only 1 meter wide. It was not convenient to walk on the city wall. And now the sand crystal city wall has been strengthened and thickened a lot. It now appeared to be narrow at the top and wide at the bottom. The bottom of the city wall was more than 10 meters wide. And the topmost city wall was also 5 to 6 meters wide. Given this width of the city wall, even if the cannons bombarded it, they could only create a small hole on the surface of the city wall. If it landed on the surface of the city wall that was mixed with sand crystal, they might not even be able to create a small hole. As for the width of the city wall, even if 4 rows of soldiers walk side by side, it would still feel very spacious. Other than that, Zhao Changshu also built a slope inside the city wall. He called this slope the horse path. Its main function was to facilitate the transportation of soldiers, rations and arms from the city walls. Even cavalrymen could also use the horse path to ride directly from the city wall to the city wall. In addition, the horse path was built on the inside of the city wall. It was also conducive to strengthening the city wall. Moreover, it was easy and fast to make. In short, there were many benefits. Apart from the change in the thickness of the city wall, there was another important change. The number of Aurora towers on the city wall had increased. Originally, there was only 1 Aurora tower on the city wall. Later on, Zhou gave Zhao Changshu 1,091 green bronze tier Aurora crystals and 10 yellow gold tier Aurora crystals as mission rewards. Zhao Changshu used a large number of basic materials and mist cores to build another 6 green bronze tier advanced grade Aurora towers and 1 yellow gold tier elementary grade Aurora tower with their help. There were already 8 Aurora towers full of energy on the city wall. Even if a white platinum tier fog monster dared to attack Blazing Sun City, the 8 Aurora towers could directly turn it into a corpse. Zhou saw this and a smile appeared on his face again. These 8 Aurora towers, coupled with such a thick city wall, provided him with the confidence to fight for the one and only supreme reward. Chapter 106 Zhao Changshu's Dead Loyalty. Eve of the Novice Lord Test. I've something to report, my lord. The thickened sand crystal city wall consumed more than 3 million units of basic materials, and all the sand crystals in our current inventory. The horse path is made of sand, all made from local materials. As for the 7 newly built Aurora towers, a total of 96,000 units of basic materials, 600 green bronze tier mist cores, 600 green bronze tier Aurora crystals, 10 yellow gold tier mist cores, and 10 yellow gold tier Aurora crystals were consumed. Zhao Changshu reported. It's fine. It doesn't matter how much you consumed. I need these things that Elder Zhao built for me. Zhou smiled. Resources and the mist cores were meant to be spent. There was no point in saving them, especially when the Novice Lord test was about to arrive. Boxin he should spend them and exchange them for something that could increase the probability of passing the Novice Lord test and fighting for the only supreme reward. Only then would it be meaningful. Zhou was clear about this. Zhao Changshu smiled. To be able to meet a lord who trusted and understood them like Zhou was also a blessing to people like them. Elder Zhao. Thank you for the past 2 days. Zhou said sincerely to Zhao Changshu. It was all because Elder Zhao was working non-stop and the hard work of all the subjects over the past 2 days that the current results were achieved. Among them, Elder Zhao had definitely contributed greatly. This is just my duty. My lord, you don't have to thank me, Zhao Changshu said. Elder Zhao, go back and have a good rest. My blazing sun city will not fail tomorrow's test, Zhou said seriously. Zhao Changshu looked at Zhou. Gradually, a relieved smile appeared on his face. It's rare to see my lord so confident in your promise. Now, the sacrifices that I and all the subjects have made in the past 2 days are truly meaningful. He sighed. A text notification appeared in front of Zhou as soon as he finished speaking. Your subject's Zhao Changshu's loyalty has increased to 100 points. He has become your dead loyal subject. Zhou was stunned. Then he saw Zhao Changshu bow respectfully to him. Then this subordinate will go back and rest, he said respectfully. Zhou acknowledged. Zhao Changshu turned around and left with a faint smile on his face. Zhou watched him return to his own residence before he returned to the Lord's courtyard and put on the outfit of the new wind ceremony. Then, he found a deserted place to practice flying with it. He only stopped when Wu Tu returned with the scouts. Zhou flew down from the sky and landed in front of Wu Tu, who was covered in dust. Wu Tu looked at this scene in shock. However, he did not forget his duty. He immediately took out a map and handed it to Zhou respectfully. My lord, I've already scouted the entire desolate Gobi with my team members. I also drew a map of the desolate Gobi. This is the regional map of the desolate Gobi. Zhou took it and glanced at it. Then he raised his eyebrows. That was because apart from a few Scarlet Lords, he also saw a Kobold tribe in the desolate Gobi. Zhou looked at the special note beside him. After knowing that the Kobold tribe was not strong, he stopped paying attention to them. Let's ignore them for now. Naturally, the Novice Lord test happening the next day was more important. However, when the Novice Lord test ended, he could lead troops to conquer this Black Iron Tier territory with this regional map of the desolate Gobi. He would clear the safety hazards around Desolate City for a commercial city under his command in the future. Well done. Zhou praised Wu Tuesday. Wu Tu chuckled. I'll draw up a regional map of Thorn Dune tomorrow, he said. Something big will happen in the territory tomorrow. Don't go out. It's not too late for you to go out when tomorrow's business is over, Zhou said. Wu Tu was stunned, but he agreed without asking further. After that, Zhou chatted with Wu Tu for a while before he got Wu Tu to bring the soldiers back. Zhou practiced flying here for a while. After feeling that he could completely control the flying ability of the new wind ceremony, he returned to the Lord's courtyard in satisfaction. It was already very late. Zhou had no intention of continuing to be busy. He lay on the bed and quietly thought about tomorrow. The Novice Lord test is tomorrow. The opportunity to check my development results in the past few days is here, he thought calmly. He thought back to the developments in the past 7 days. He could already pat his chest and say that he had done his best. Even if something really happened, he would not blame himself or anyone else. Rest, focus your spirit and prepare for tomorrow's Novice Lord test. At this thought, Zhou closed his eyes and quickly fell asleep. The next day, the sun had not fully risen yet, so the sky was still a little dark. In the master bedroom of the Lord's courtyard, Zhou opened his eyes. The look in his eyes quickly changed from just waking up to full of vigor. All his fatigue was swept away. Zhou opened the World Channel. Current countdown 2 hours, 12 minutes, 7 seconds. Another 2 hours, Zhou said softly. Then, he looked at the other lords' comments below it. Even though it was still early, there were already a large number of lords on the Cerulean planet online. The number of lord posts appearing on the World Channel could be said to be huge. Tens of millions of posts were refreshed every second. Zhou had no choice but to slow down the refresh speed to see what they were talking about. Brothers and sisters, it's the 8th day. There are still a little more than 2 hours before the Novice Lord test. I'm suddenly so nervous. Come on. I'm thinking about the posture when I die later. As long as I can pass this Novice Lord test, I will definitely soar. Brothers and sisters, I thought I wouldn't be afraid previously, but I'm really afraid now. I'm going to give up my Lord status and change my occupation to become an adventurer. I wish you all a bright future. When you're rich in the future, I'll go to your place and be an adventurer's fighter. I hope you won't despise me when the time comes. Sigh, it's not certain who will be rich in the future. Life has a dream. Each of us will head on different paths. Brothers and sisters of the Alliance, calm down. When the big shots solve their Novice Lord test, they will come and help everyone. It will all depend on today's Novice Lord test if we will become dragons or worms. Charge. Brothers. Stop charging. I'm panicking now. Zhou didn't see any valuable information, so he closed the world channel. He got up and washed up. Then, he put on the new wind ceremony and walked out of the Lord's courtyard. He came to the gate of summoning and prepared to summon today's subjects. A text notification appeared. Prompt. Do you want to summon immediately? Yes, Zhou said. As soon as he finished speaking, the gate of summoning suddenly lit up with an even brighter white light. Then 66 people walked out. Greetings, my lord. When the 66 people came out and saw Zhou, they immediately knelt down and greeted him respectfully. Welcome to Blazing Sun City. Zhou smiled and nodded. Then, he checked the personal information of these 66 people. Chapter 107 Subjects Who Came to Serve. The Novice Lord test officially begins. There were a total of 10 professionals among these 66 people. Among them were 2 green bronze tier advanced grade cavalrymen, 3 green bronze tier intermediate grade blacksmiths, 1 green bronze tier elementary grade tailor, 1 black iron tier advanced grade carpenter, and 3 black iron tier intermediate grade doctors. Zhou nodded slightly. He even laughed out loud when he saw 2 green bronze tier advanced grade cavalrymen. He had 8,132 military professionals under him, but there was only 1 cavalryman and 1 spearman. Every time he went out to fight, there would be a sea of sword shield soldiers, poison crossbow soldiers, and elemental archers, but the lone cavalryman and spearman formed a team. It looked rather awkward. There were finally 3 cavalrymen. As for the spearmen, let nature take its course. After that, Zhou got the 2 cavalrymen to report to Bai Yi, Boxinoviel. The remaining people asked them to look for Jing Yuanqi and let him arrange the place. Then Zhou brought Nazario Bai Yi and the other 98 people to enter the time ruins. When he entered the time ruins, a line of text suddenly appeared in front of him. The river of time has undergone a special change. The content of the time mission has changed. Then, a mission interface that looked the same as before but had actually changed appeared in front of Zhou. Time Mission 1. Eliminating the enemy did not change much. However, Time Mission 2, Protection of the Ally, had changed from protect the last 13 Elven Elemental Archers in Ender Town to protect the last 12 Elven Elemental Archers in Ender Town. Zhou frowned slightly when he saw this change. Soon, Zhou suddenly realized something when they found the 12 surviving elemental archers. The 13th elemental archer that wasn't around was Nadia. What happened? Zhou was surprised. He had a vague guess in his heart. However, he was not too sure. In the end, he could only let it go. After all, it was related to the concept of the river of time. No matter what changes happened to the time ruins was not something he could interfere with now. He could only accept this change. Fortunately, this was not a big loss for him. The number of Elven Elemental Archers he could obtain every day would reduce from 13 to 12 at worst. Half an hour later, after completing 2 time missions, they walked out of the time ruins with all their loot. Then, Zhou brought 384 Elemental Archers recruitment books to the Gate of Summoning and summoned 384 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Elemental Archers recruits. This raised the total number of soldiers under his command to 8,526. Putting aside the 1,000 people in Desolate City, he would have 7,526 people to face the Novice Lord test. As for the 5,000 monsters nurtured in the monster ranches today, he would not lead the troops to clean them up. These monsters were left to Mugu to command and for him to protect himself. A moment later, outside Blazing Sun City, in the distance, 200 humans dragged their families and luggage over from afar. They soon arrived outside Blazing Sun City's Novice Lord protection barrier. They said that they wanted to see the Lord of the Blazing Sun, and hoped to join Blazing Sun City and become its official subjects. The soldiers at the city gate naturally could not make such a decision. After calming them down, They immediately ran over to report this matter to Zhou. 200 people? Zhou was stunned. Then he quickly reacted. Zhang Bowen's mission reward did include the submission of 200 Fish Springtown subjects. It should be this group of people. At the thought of this, Zhou immediately called Zheng Yuanqi and went outside the novice lord's protective barrier with the soldiers. When the 200 subjects saw Zhou, they immediately became excited. We have been yearning for you because of your reputation for a long time. Please allow us to become your subjects. My husband was killed by the purple scale murderfish. Thank you, Lord of the Blazing Sun, for eliminating these fog monsters. Sir, let us join your territory. Everyone looked at Zhou expectantly. 200 Fish Springtown subjects request to join your territory and become your subjects. Do you agree? Zhou naturally agreed. Thank you for thinking so highly of me. I naturally welcome everyone to join Blazing Sun City. From now on, we're family. Zhou roared. Everyone immediately cheered. Then Zhou asked Zheng Yuanqi to take over these people and arrange their accommodation and work. When he saw these 200 people, he felt a little lucky. Fortunately, these people came at this time. If they happened to come during the Novice Lord test, Zhou could not guarantee that nothing would happen to them. In the time that followed, Zhou did not do anything else but let the soldiers and Nazario conserve their energy and wait for the next Novice Lord test. Nazario also knew that a great battle was waiting for it. It had always been lazy. Nonetheless, a faint dragon might came from its body even though it was still lying on the ground. The dragon eyes opened and closed. One could see the blazing dark red flames in its eyes and the terrifying will for destruction. Surging fire elemental energy surrounded it. It seemed to be ready to pour out at any time to eliminate all enemies who dare to stand in its way. Even the subjects and soldiers who usually dared to approach Nazario did not dare to approach it at this moment. More than an hour later, Zhou opened the World Channel. He realized that the Novice Lord test would begin in 3 minutes. 3 minutes later, Zhou stared at the final countdown. Countless lords of the myriad races were also staring at the final countdown in the entire high continent. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 12 seconds. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 11 seconds. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 8 seconds. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 3 seconds. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 2 seconds. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 1 second. Right at this moment. Rumble. Suddenly, the sky in all regions of the high continent changed drastically. Vast scarlet fog covered the sky. Scarlet lightning bolts interweaved in the scarlet fog in the sky like dense blood snakes. At this moment the air became heavy. The world became extremely oppressive. Elven Empire Alanos. The original Elven Empress Elizariel looked at the changes in the weather. Her expression was complicated. There was a hint of anticipation in the depths of her eyes. Lords, will there really be a lord of all races among you? She muttered to herself. Aurora Kingdom Royal Palace. Li Yuangan frowned as he looked at the sudden change in the weather. Then, he instructed the minister beside him. Get the lords of the various regions to appease the Aurora subjects in their region. At a time like this, don't let anything go wrong. Also, inform the lords at the border to be careful of the Taiyan kingdom, to prevent them from taking advantage of this opportunity to invade. Yes, your majesty, the minister said respectfully. Then, he immediately passed down the order. In the starry sky, the divine kingdoms in the countless stars shone brightly. The god spirits who lived in the divine kingdom were also watching this novice lord test at this moment. At the same time, the countdown in the eyes of all the lords reached the end. Current countdown, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 second. Rumble. Rows of blood-colored text notifications appeared in front of the lords accompanied by the earth-shattering scarlet thunder. The Novice Lord development period is over. The Novice Lord test has officially begun. Chapter 108 Novice Lord Test. First round of monsters. I will now announce the rules of the Novice Lord test. The Novice Lord test this time is Scarlet Wave. Test Rule 1. In the following period of time, the territory of every lord of the myriad races will welcome wave after wave of attacks from the fog monsters. Fog monsters will be stronger, and the interval of attacks will be longer with each wave. At the same time, the rewards after each round of attacks from the fog monsters will be more generous. Test Rule 2. When the fog monster's attack reaches the 6th round, you will be considered to have passed the Novice Lord test and obtain the qualifications to become an official lord. You will also obtain the Basic Lord reward. Test Rule 3. This Novice Lord test will result in a Novice Lord ranking. The higher the ranking of the lord who persists in the fog monster's attacks, the better the rewards obtained during the settlement. After the Novice Lord test ends, the lord ranked first on the Novice Lord ranking will obtain the title of the strongest Novice Lord and the highest reward personally given by the Supreme Will. Test Rule 4. When the lord advances to the 6th round of fog monster attacks, the lord can choose to enter the Ultimate Challenge mode and accept more rounds of fog monster attacks to increase his ranking on the Novice Lord rankings. May all the lords successfully pass this Novice Lord test and become official lords of the High Continent, obtain the qualifications to compete for the slot of the Lord of all races, and reach the final position. Prompt. In 10 minutes, the new lords will welcome the first round of the Scarlet Wave's fog monster attack. Please be prepared. The next second, Zhou saw the Novice Lord protection barrier that had protected Blazing Sun City's territory for 7 days slowly disappeared. It is not until now that we, the lords, have officially begun to face the dangers of the High Continent, Box and OVL. Zhou thought to himself when he saw this. Then, he came back to his senses and carefully checked the rules of this Novice Lord test. A moment later, the rules are easy to understand, but it's actually not that easy. We'll have to experience it personally in the next fog monster attack. Zhou was deep in thought. At this moment, 2 notifications sounded. The Novice Lord ranking has been activated. You can check the current ranking of the lords by chanting silently. The Novice Lord ranking. Zhou muttered to himself. Then, a blood-colored virtual ranking list appeared in front of him. There were 100 lords on the blood-colored virtual rankings. He didn't recognize any of them. At the bottom were the current number of pages. 181st, 231, 212 page. Zhou silently recited his lord title. The page immediately refreshed. Soon, he found himself ranked at 3, 6, 15, 421, 542 t. He shook his head and closed the Novice Lord ranking. Then he followed Horsepath and walked to the city wall. Greetings, my lord. By Wuxia and Zhongsong. The 3 Blazing Sun Army Deputy Legion commanders immediately greeted Zhou respectfully when they saw him. Zhou acknowledged. Then he looked at the defense on the city wall. At this moment, the 4 walls were already filled with soldiers. Among them were 1,000 poison crossbow soldiers, 1,000 elemental archers, and 1,000 sword shield soldiers. 2,000 long-range soldiers were responsible for shooting at enemies from afar. The 1,000 sword shield soldiers were in charge of dealing with the enemies who tried to climb up the city wall. There were still 4,523 soldiers under the city wall. They could climb up the city wall through the Horsepath at any time to support and change the defense. The 8 Aurora Towers were already in activation mode. They could kill enemies in the distance at any time. When Zhou saw this, he felt slightly relieved. In their preparation plan, if an enemy attacked, their first line of defense was the Sand Crystal City walls and the long-range professionals. After the long-range soldiers ran out of ammunition and food, the sword shield soldiers and Puteo soldiers, these 2 types of melee professionals, would be the second line of defense. They would charge out of the city wall and engage the enemy in close combat to stop the enemy from charging into the city. If a large number of enemies appeared, the 8 Aurora Towers would activate Ray mode and launch a ranged attack on the enemy, destroying a large-scale enemy as the 3rd defensive line. Finally, there was Nazario, a pure-blooded white-silver tier intermediate grade dragon. Its mission was very simple. It would participate in the entire battle, specifically killing high combat units among the enemies or destroying the war machines that might appear. This was their initial plan. After the actual battle, Wuxia and the others would make changes according to the specific situation. Zhou said nothing. He silently looked into the distance, waiting for the incoming enemy. At the same time, The territory of the Dragon Lady Lord. On the 10-meter-tall normal wall, more than 100 human professionals were standing guard. Under the wall, 6 green bronze-tier advanced-grade wyverns roared from time to time. The Dragon Lady Lord stood at the side and comforted them while looking into the distance, waiting for the first round of fog monsters to arrive. The day has finally come. The Dragon Blood Queen is my talent. But starting today, it will also become a title for me. At this moment, as a woman, not only was the Dragon Lady Lord not afraid, her eyes were actually full of vigor. The Overlord Lord's territory. Xiang Shuaba sat on a huge rock and used a stone knife to grind his fingernails calmly. Beside him, a 5-meter-long Overlord spear stood on the ground. Their sizes were in stark contrast. It looked completely asymmetrical. Xiang Shuaba exuded a domineering aura, yet the scene in front of him was incomparably harmonious. As for this green bronze-tier advanced-grade Overlord spear, it was forged by a lord in the Overlord Association who had a green bronze-tier advanced-grade blacksmith. Price was. He would protect this lord in the future. This was naturally easy for him. My lord. The soldiers have already hidden the subjects. A skinny subject ran over and reported to Xiang Shuaba. Xiang Shuaba nodded and continued to polish his nails. My lord. I heard from you that something big will happen today. Is there anything I can help you with? The subject asked. Xiang Shuaba thought for a while and said, Get me wine and meat. I'll come and have a bite when I'm hungry. The subject was stunned. Don't you need soldiers to help? He asked boldly. I alone am enough. Yes, my lord. Undead Lord's territory. On the 10-meter-tall dilapidated wall, Zhang Han, who had a dark expression, looked into the distance with a calm expression. He could sense it. The aura of life forms that he hated was approaching. Get ready to kill. His voice was hoarse. Yes, my lord. A group of faint voices sounded. Below the wall, 1 green bronze-tier advanced-grade Death Knight, 10 green bronze-tier intermediate-grade Malefice, 50 green bronze-tier elementary-grade Skeleton Generals, 200 black iron-tier advanced-grade Skeleton Archers, 500 black iron-tier intermediate Skeleton Axemen, 1,000 black iron-tier elementary-grade Skeleton Swordsmen. They were standing there quietly, ready to fight at any time. Blazing Sun City. 10 minutes later, a blood-colored notification appeared in front of Zhou. The first round of fog monsters has appeared. Lord, please be prepared. Enemy has appeared. A soldier immediately warned loudly on the guard tower. He didn't need to say anything. The others saw it too. In the distance, a scarlet fog that was more than 10 meters tall surged towards Blazing Sun City like a wave. The scarlet fog gradually dissipated as it got closer. Enemies emerged from the fog. They were 5 fog monsters that looked like giant wolves. They were more than 2 meters tall and more than 4 meters long. They had ferocious purple claws. There were no other organs on their faces, only a vertical purple eye. Zhou looked at it. A monster notification appeared. Monster name: Demon Eye Wolf. Strength level: Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Monster description: the first round of the Novice Lord test, fog monsters. Kill them and you can obtain the first round of the Novice Lord treasure chest. Loot's drop rate: 2 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. Drop rate: 100%. 1 Black Iron Tier Basic Materials Pack. Drop rate: 5%. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.